Hi YouTube, it's me, Grim Zamir, Seekers Galanti, Second Wake, Episode 12, Year 2. There we go, got it in one. Let's just jump right into it, as Philip DeFranco would say. I think at this point, his March drop is ending. There are some super dope stuff. If you've not ever seen a Philip DeFranco, you beautiful bastard, I think I can say that within the first 15 minutes, because he doesn't ever get dinged on it, merch drop that has come out. Absolutely tremendous, not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, but if you ever like Philip DeFranco for your news, any type of alternate media, that kind of stuff, they're really, really cool, and they recently added a bunch of plus sizes, so instead of being stuck on these merch drops that are like, if you want to get extra medium clothes, you can now get 2X, 3X, 4X, 5X, etc. Super cool stuff. I definitely spent some shmoney on his March drop, and I'm looking forward to what comes, because there's a lot of really cool stuff. It kind of reminds me of the old Unisonis merch drops, that they're just like fun exclusives that will probably never be reprinted again. So always fun stuff there. Anyway, sorry, it's D&D time. What am I talking about? Crazy. So, hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag just a fan. When we last left our heroes, our Seekers of Galanti, they were returning from the village of Lightning, the small farmstead of the family Lightning, now in service to the one, the only, you love him, Vasler, having spoken at length about the fate of one would-be dire rat known simply as Charles, who many have claimed to be in charge, but I've yet to see proof of that, although they do have a little cute icon under the Companions tab now, which is super nice and a great rush job, and shout out to Moria out on Twitter. They be doing good stuff. They do a lot of like cool kind of like anthropomorphic characters. They also do tons of cool like real world humans and not humans. So yeah, lots of neat stuff there. Yeah, shout out. It was like a rush job. We missed a week, and then like in the course of like 4 days that was done. So really, really big thank you for that. We now have Art of Charles to put on the stream, and I doth love it. Yes, after deciding to take Charles with them, I believe the term from Kobold Jones being, it's better to start their villain origin story now than to let it wait and simmer. The group has agreed to take on Charles as a squire, a intern, a person of interest to watch. You know, that kind of thing. The small rat deeming that they want to be a hero because they have seen the amount of love, passion, and consideration that heroes are given in this world. And so they thought, I can do that. Have joined the Seekers of Galanti for however long that might be. Probably the first open ditch that they can be kicked into. I'm not sure where Cole Jones's mind is at, but it's never out of the cards when you're dealing with a wild card. Because you draw 21, he draws 22. Just a step above. But headed back into the city of Theaterwood, the Seekers of Galanti find themselves on the long road out of the northern gate and coming into view of the city now as we bring it back into... I will also apologize here on YouTube. My jaw is like unhinged or something. I'm not a rat and I'm not a snake, but I got like a pop.
Yeah, I'm a lizard person.
I know, confirmed. Me and Zuckerberg were like this. Oh, there we go. So as we bring it back in, the group comes into view of the northern gate, a bit more ramshackle, beaten and broken. Several large, inches deep grooves and cuts along the stone bear striking a resemblance to the strange creatures of the stars, these six-fanged creatures of maw and blade that clearly have torn their way through much of the open wood. Looking through the open gates, you see that one of the main doors itself now sits haphazardly hung by a single hinge. Otherwise, the remaining door sliced to ribbons and lays broken at the feet. Blood and various bits of the previous night's events seem to still very much hang and slowly soak into the bedrock of the stone of the city. There are a number of guard and personnel working their best to mostly clean up the dead, not so much guard the area, but kind of just hobble together anyone they can in relief efforts. Seekers of Galanti, you approach the scene and you see a number of these individuals turn and look in your direction. Many at first speak almost to address you, but then think better of themselves, seeming to almost choke down and chew their words and swallow them before they escape into the reality of our world. and instead resume about their business, seeming to kind of just bade you no mind, more focused at this point to collect, clean, and otherwise prepare the dead for the eventual mass graves that are sure to follow. What would you all like to do? I don't think I ever established where you're headed. Just back to the city is where I think I last left it.
Does anyone have anything else we need to check up on, or should we go help with the estate?
I ain't got nothing.
I'm good.
Yeah, heading back to the estate sounds about right.
All right, heading back to the estate of the Lady Galante.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you all move. You move somewhat swiftly through the open, kind of arid gate. As you move and continue on your path, you do see that there are stacks, and I truly mean stacks, of individuals that have been laid to rest. Many of them now haphazardly stacked one on top of another, some of them field stripped or dressed as best as they are able. Some portions of the pile themselves less humanoid nature and just pieces of what they could find of individuals. Scraps of armor have been separated from the pile, broken weapons, shields, swords, the like. This seems to continue on not for several feet, but almost a quarter of a mile or so. The dead lined along the entrance to the northern gate, and you see across the open view of the city as you slowly make your way deeper within it, small fires and smoke still burn and seek to be put out at this point. The screams and howling of various people beckon in a bit of a somber feel, as truly the depths of loss can be felt in a kind of residual energy that has very much soaked into the lands of the city. Making some haste, you all head for the southeastern edge of the city into the district of the Galante family. You look and it is the same story you noted in the northern district. Piles of individuals you once looked upon as various townsfolk, heroes in training in a certain respect, and either other chosen of the Weavers themselves, are now laid to bear, friends, family, allies, and the like, all grieving at the various sites of rest and collection for those who have passed on, who have not survived the night as well and as adept as the Seekers of Galante themselves. You reach the open square, through which you help defend and ward off much of the feverish might of the evening, and coming to review much of it, it does appear that most of the district, as far as for real estate, does seem to be still remaining intact. Your group having gotten to the issue quickly enough that the central square of the Galante area seems surprisingly well maintained, and all things considered in various states of well repair. As you kind of march through the area as well, you finally do find the broken, tattered, and twisted gates of the Galante estate. Various splotches of now beautiful wildflowers adorning the open yard, covering bits and pieces of this well-traced road. Various states of disrepair as carriages, horses, and other means of transportation lie broken and sliced into pieces all about the area. A number of other of the Weavers chosen of the house, various teams, the static themselves, can be seen further on into the open residence of the area, working their best to kind of clean up and do anything they can to lend assistance. Every so often, a member of the estate seems to steal a passing glance at your group, watch you over for just a moment, and then quickly and hurriedly returning to their work. As you all approach the front doors, which now lie haphazardly hanging from their hinges still, you look to see a very tall woman clad in bright blue, which you know to be the Lady's Diamond, and stood beside her, the Lady Galante seems to be pointing a finger at various members of staff, some being excused for the remainder of the day or until further notice, while others asking for permission to do anything they can to help at this point. Lady seems to do her absolute best to effectively guide these wayward individuals. Upon your approach, you can see the Diamond kind of sternly elbow the lady about I'd say almost because of the height difference, kind of elbows her right in the shoulder a bit because the diamond is a rather tall woman. The lady herself turning with a bit of flair and looking out in the direction of the Seekers. Bringing her hands together, she kind of catches herself in her breath. She slowly moves with a quick kind of double step towards the group, and then stops and holds her hands at rest and looks you all over and speaks rather fondly and calmly. And she goes, "My darling Seekers, I am ever so fortunate to count you among not only the living, but also among those who, well, this morning, your names are being sung among the district, and many would state that you, from what they could see from these strange orbs above the various districts, are the reason and root causes to thank for the ending of such suffering and unabashed horror we had to survive. Was it true that you all are our saviors this day?"
I think I'd give Orville the most credit, but yes. We, found our way to the source of this and were able to fight it off.
She thinks and more or less considers what this means not only to her estate, but to you all. She looks you all over quite well, and she goes, "Is there anyone here who is in need of medical attention or immediate considerations that we might attend to?"
I think most of us are holding on. Is there anything that we could assist with here?
There are truly a number of things that require doing at this point. Beg my pardon. I find that at this time, however, there is a certain feeling in the air that there are those who feel that they were unable to do anything and now require such things as an effort to prove themselves for the greater good, whereas you all are truly, if you are to be believed, and as well as reports are confirming for me, the ones who have pulled the most weight, given the most effort and sacrifice, and risked the most for everyone here in town. Truly, when things have been restored, the people given time to grieve, you should be heralded as saviors, as true heroes among heroes even. To ask you to do anything at this point is to ask the very world itself to turn in a direction of one's choosing. I think you are far and beyond being given simple orders. And I think, from what I have heard, even just in passing, you all might have deserved quite a bit of rest at this point. There's only so much we can expect anyone to do, and I think, with consideration to what you have likely accomplished and suffered through, it might do well that each of you take this time to recover before focusing your efforts elsewhere.
Where else would we need to go?
Well, that is a bit of a curious quandary, I would say. Personally, due to your efforts in no small part at all, truly we have you to thank for this, and I am to understand that Mr. Orville, yes, did accomplish quite a many thing previous evening. That all that is still in my territory that yet stands functional and well maintained is no small effort to the accomplishments of your group. This puts us in a rather particular situation as the news continues to break this morning of the various states of disrepair and the thousands that now lie dead in the various districts. That we are functionally unbothered by such an event. The only thing we are lacking at this point is, well, adequate resources to ensure the rebuild goes as smoothly as possible. I hate to be a bit of a, well, cold-hearted woman in this regard, but I do feel that at this point there is nothing here to bind nor stop you from continuing on your path and leaving the, shall we say, housework to those of us you saved and ensured the lives of.
I mean, it feels kind of fucked up to go off gallivanting when there's people dying and there's stuff that needs to be built.
Indeed. As you so crudely put it, stuff that needs to be built, hopefully by those who know how to build it. I did not take you for a carpenter, Mr. Jones.
I mean, pull out the axe. I got this axe.
It is indeed an axe, and it is indeed sharp, and it is indeed at the very end of the arm of a hero, a savior, a true weaver's chosen. And from the presence that I feel, one who has found the one true path in life. To ask you to belittle yourself to carpenter, or doctor, or therapist, would be to discredit your very achievements and to waste your potential. Something I think you have, in no small part, attributed to your ability to continue in this respect.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we just have a different idea of what a hero is.
I suppose we do, in a sense. A hero is much more than those who stand shoulder to shoulder with common folk and attempt to right them. A hero instead focuses on the bigger picture, becomes an ideal, a way to measure the commoners, to measure their peers, a true power that resonates good and proper beings among the world.
DM, are there any, like, I don't know, nurses or medical people that are bustling about in this area that are within range?
Not within range, but you do know that, like, most of the medical staff for the Galanti estate made it to that kind of, like, kitchen bunker that they threw together. You would assume many of them are in their, like, quarters attending to anyone who is, like, they're doing triage at this point. Like, if you so much as, like, lean over from where you're looking, the medical facility that's attached to this side of the estate, I mean, there's people laid out on, like, small kind of, like, bedding, other folks that are, like, legitimately unable to be saved and are kind of just, like, trying to be kept as calm as possible in their last moments. People who are kind of working the best. You note there are people that even have, like, head bandaging that are clearly still concussed or having problems, doing anything they can to kind of save even one life at this point. And from what the lady would tell you, each of them are very much in the mindset, and many of the people who saw you all in the plaza and take down the large kind of gelatinous type of crystalline giant there, many of them clearly, and even those in, like, close proximity, have eyes of, like, thankfulness and reverence for each of you, kind of attributing their lives to the efforts you all preceded the previous night.
Well, Kobold's gonna point in their direction. He's be like, now those guys, those are heroes. I'm just a douchebag with an axe.
Well, be that as it may then, the heroes, as you so put them, finally have their part to play. and they're doing everything they can to save as much life as they are able, no doubt in every district and every home. I more mean to say that I do not appreciate the sentiment, Mr. Jones. However, these people, these heroes of yours, do not work for free. They all have families to send money home to. They all have things they require to continue on living. And for what it is worth, the most profitable venture that the Galanti estate has outside of my, well, jewels business is that of championing Weaver's chosen to accomplish a great many tasks in the worlds and recovering things that otherwise may turn a greater profit for all those in attendance. I do not, again, to mean be cold-hearted at all. More, I mean that I think you should take as much time as you require to settle yourselves, recover what you may, and when you are ready, continue marching the path that will bring hope and life to all of us. Sooner or later, those creatures will likely come back. They will seek their pound of flesh for the defeat you granted them. And it is at that time that I hope that you have not been idle and concerned with those who can help themselves, instead of gaining the tools you will require to truly save us in our hour of needs. I am but an arbiter, Mr. Jones, not a monarch.
Yeah.
My lady, do we know how badly the other houses were hurt?
The news is still forthcoming. Sorry, hold on. Sorry. A few of my, shall we call them birds, do chirp of destruction in the thousands. Many of the Weaver's chosen groupings now broken, beaten, and bloodied at the feet of this event. Some of the most championed individuals caught off guard and unawares the previous evening and have not been accounted for. I have it on good record that a number of prominent figures within the community have unfortunately been discovered to be, shall we say, confirmed among the list of the dead. Chief among them would be Sir Trillian Grama I, leader of the Grommaton. Their son, the second, now seeks to unite their home. But it would appear that among the disarray and with Trillian's, well, extensive age in such things, they were not in a good enough health to survive the night. More so as it appears, and rumors continue to circulate, that much of their guard was predominantly focused with tracking down an incident that had occurred a few nights prior. They were not united when these threats hit. They were not so fortunate as my own children to be able to stand shoulder to shoulder against the encroaching darkness. Otherwise, the Destra seem to be rallying as best they can, but they are drained of many of their resources, if rumors can be believed. Much of their arcane residuum, as well as various materials and goods, seem to be broken, missing, or outright stolen in the confusion. Many of their people seeming to escape rather than stand united against this threat. A bit of a coward's way, but who can truly say what it means in this age to be heroic? The church Barossa still stands, but has opened its doors to those who are suffering the most, yet there are a number among their flock and faithful that have abandoned the light of the Weavers themselves. It is unfortunate, but they are taxed beyond measure for the, well, abandoned and hopeless among the city. I have not heard word of the small group from the dockside. I believe them to be the Nuark? A force in and of itself that has always struggled to truly find a banner to be heralded from. Many of them seem to be in absolute disarray. I wouldn't even be sure if they're considered at this point to still be a united effort within the city. Many of their people lie scattered, confused, and are lacking proper leadership. Might you have further questions, my child?
No, I think you answered them all. I appreciate it.
Of course. For you, anything. So, my seekers, I advise at this time to take a breath, a rest, not to relax and sit on your accomplishments, but instead take the difficult choice and understanding that at certain times you must put your own well-being ahead of that of the greater good. You have strove to save countless lives within the city. At the very least, you've earned yourself a rest. Time to bandage what is broken, and perhaps get armor that fits, Mr. Jones.
Yeah, I definitely need that. This shit sucks.
Dude, she called you out.
Alright, well, I guess let's get going.
Might you have anything else that is eating at the ebbing flow of your minds, Seekers? Or might you know that you can rest soundly within these walls? We have cleared out much of the estate of the various remnant of these foul creatures, but the accommodations are far from ideal and up to my normal standard. There is a small resting station that has been set out in the ballroom. It is mostly intact, and, well, the mattresses are at least somewhat comfortable.
I'm sure that not everything's been accounted for yet, but there are a few individuals in the city that I'd hope to find out if they survived or not. But I'm fine to wait a bit so that such things can be discovered.
If it puts your mind at ease, there are talks of a formal census to be taken, but that will have to come after the rubble has been cleared and everyone has been found and accounted for. At this time, I wouldn't recommend traversing in unknown streets. Not to say that Deerwood has ever had a true criminal element, but with much of the chaos and disarray at this point, there are a number of folk who have already proven themselves to be capitalists, so to speak. Present company excluded, of course. Orville, Morgan.
sheepishly hide the mace that he's been carrying behind his back.
I mean, Kobold Jones is in like full plate. That is not his.
I take offense to that. It's half plate.
Oh,
it is half
yeah.
of my plate. It is worthless. It covers nothing.
Literal
my dong
garbage.
is just out right now.
Yes. I'll have to get art of that. There we go.
Let's go get some rest then.
All right. You guys,
I agree to that.
you all head into the estate, guided by a number of the butlering and maid staff, many of whom bow their heads in a bit of reverence. It does appear that many of the people among the Galanti estate are very much aware, or have at least been told, that their survival, everything they saw the night previously, even of just Velithil and JJ, and what few creatures they were able to battle on there, and then seeing kind of the coming and going of your group through the kind of kitchened area, many of them fully believe that everyone would be dead if not for the Seekers of Galanti. Whether that is being kind of diffused throughout by the lady herself, or just the rumors as they continue to tumble in. There seems to be a number of people that are very, very, very aware to not let their gaze linger at this point. And it's more of a, anything you need, we're here for you kind of feeling. You all arrive in the grand ballroom, and much in the way that we've seen in a real world situation, this hefty, large dance floor has now been laid out with rows of various bedding that has been recovered from wreckage, extra blankets, pillows, anything that can be scrounged up and arranged in a way that is kind of like segmented off in kind of rows. There are a number of groupings of families that have found one another again, individuals who are not of the House Galanti but have taken refuge within here. Small rationed food and water is being provided. You do note a member of the medical staff that's primarily just standing like at the far end and just doing as best they can to create water and food. It's not tasty, it's not great, but it's a subsistence of something. Some of the gardening staff seem to also be producing goodberry and attempting their best to just keep everyone fed and at least kind of like, not to say docile, but not wanting to fight over what's left. Attempting to kind of preemptively curb any type of conflict or emotional response from the masses. When you enter, you are effectively told by the staff that any bed you want, even if there's somebody in it, is yours to have, and you may sleep wherever you so like.
Hey, do you guys want to sleep in the living room together? You know, like a sleepover, but this time we won't have pillow fights or just or thing.
I mean, we're all together
Yeah.
here. Do you need some privacy from the staff? Another...
No, but like, I just didn't know if you were gonna try and sleep in, away from everybody else.
I don't...
If so, can I go with you?
I don't...
I don't want to be.
You keep cutting out your last word.
Oh, sorry.
Your mic keeps like cutting out the last word you say.
It's like a secret. It's a secret that I'm trying
Super
to
secret because I'm trying to put together, and I'm like, you don't want what?
What don't you want? What is it? I don't want to sleep alone.
Oh, well, I actually was going to ask a bit of advice.
From me?
Well, everyone.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of wasted resources in the city right now, and would it be uncouth of me to like head through that little thing in Bartholomew's closet and go ask some lovely rat folk in the sewers to gather me some bodies. Is that uncool if I do that?
You hear a small chirping from behind you. You look over, and Charles is standing there with a pizza cutter slung over their shoulder. He goes,
I think giving anyone a job is a good idea.
Right.
Bartholomew looks around and goes, I feel like perhaps it is a bit in bad taste. But I did learn from Vasler a rather precocious rule I was unaware of, but I do believe one of my brothers had said this before to me. I believe the term is finders, keepers, losers, weepers. Now, I don't know if that has any legal context here, but I do think there is such a thing as squatters' rights. So if you get all of these people, and then you sit on them, it's a domicile, and they can't evict you. I'm fairly sure that will hold up in court.
I'm a little. I wanted to ask everyone's opinion because I'm a little conflicted on it because I don't want to affect the census and who's missing and bodies are found and whatnot. But I also could really use. It's just a lot of wasted resources, and I haven't gotten to.
You realize that you're saying people are wasted resources.
No, their bodies are. Their souls are gone. They're very dead.
Okay. I would just say that if you plan on going this way, to make sure they just don't have any, like, symbols.
Oh, I'm going to turn them all
Can I-
into skeletons. It's going to take some time, but that's...
Oh.
Yeah. But if you don't want me to do it, I'll wait until we're on the road and we find some ruffians that we don't blow up with a massive ship bomb, and I'll turn them into skeletons.
We plan on killing people? More?
I
Well,
mean,
I'm
don't
sure
we always
eventually.
end up killing something? It's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm
We're
pretty
bad
sure-
people.
Well,
Well, they're hopefully going to be bad people.
I mean, there was that one guy in the sewer. I mean, he's just hanging out.
Yeah, but... Wait, what?
Yeah, he was already dead, so you could totally have his body. It's not like we did anything for that. We didn't kill
There's
him.
multiple bottles already in the sewer.
Well, he died recently, but it wasn't due to the star people, you know?
That was completely Vasler's people that did it.
Oh, well,
So no offense.
I feel like maybe we don't throw around that it's, a prominent religion's problem.
Oh, because Vasler's.
Sounded like a domestic squabble. Anyways,
Indeed.
He was probably cheating. Yeah.
I can neither confirm nor deny, so.
Guilty till proven innocent. That's the way the law works.
But nobody wants to, like, decompose in a sewer, you know? That just sounds really sad.
so no one's like a big opposed, right?
I feel like I
I
have
mean-
to say I'm opposed a bit.
Yeah, I
Slightly
mean, I'm
opposed.
opposed, but I'm just gonna go sit over here.
Yeah, it's one of
It
those,
makes-
like, I'm opposed
Whatever
while I'm
y'all want to
conscious.
do.
Makes my tummy a little uneasy, but this is your life, and if that's how you want to live it, or
I can't
not
tell you
live it.
no.
Yeah, that's...
I'll wait and I'll make some more like uncouth people if we don't want innocent town folks. Wasted resources, always wasted resources. And Fel just goes and walks and sits down.
Well,
I mean,
hold on.
if you just find some like people that don't have faces anymore, so they're not identifiable anyway, I feel like that, they're not going to make it in the census anyway, right? And if they're already if you killed them and then raised them, then I think that there might be some sort of like ethical dilemma with that. But if they're already dead and they don't have a face, then I mean, you might as well, right?
Celeste, I can see that sort of thing, and I'd be more than happy to tell you if there's any lingering bits of soul on any of these bodies. That'll make you at ease. But I think my biggest concern is letting some sewer folk drag some bodies through a sewer into the house. We're actively cleaning. Like, there's plenty of them just out in the streets if you want to go get some.
I was going to take care of it in the sewer, but don't. But I'll get them later. It's fine. It's fine.
If they're in the sewer, then also not for nothing. Didn't I feel like I was a party to getting you dead people all the time? I feel like there were a bunch of people who harassed Miss Lightning, and Vasler and I cut them up. Then we brought them back to you.
I got one of those.
One of those. Oh, of course. Okay.
The rest of them all got. But I'm not really sure what happened to them. I am sad about it.
Oh, okay. Sorry to bring up a sore subject.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not awake when you're doing it, I can't tell you. It's the same thing with what may or may not be affecting Miss Morgan. So, do with what you will.
We're kind of in this weird gray area where, like, it'd probably be nice to have the company, but also the bones, It'd be like having a friend with, like, a disease, and you're like, hey there, friend. Kind of creeping us all out with your boys.
Some cloaks and some arrows and bows and kind of get us like a little archery skeleton division. But
right.
Dreams, they go on hold sometimes.
We're starting an. What?
I think we have an army, is what we're talking about here.
Yeah?
I will say this. As long as I am in my best friend's view, I agree with him. And I think so long as we can't identify them, that's great. I would just say, as a final bit of peace, in the unlikely and unfortunate event that you unlife someone, and their loved one identifies them some way, somehow, I would be crushed.
Yeah, that's what I don't want to happen. That's why I was asking everyone's opinion.
Okay, well, that's mine. And, that's all I have to say about that. So I am going to go over here. You see Bartholomew, like, head out in a long row and, like, start, like, walking and, like, slowly poking mattresses to see how firm or soft they are. Goldilocks style.
I'm not going to do that right now, Celeste, so we can have this sleepover. But none of the regular sleepover activities can happen.
In fact, let's not call it a sleepover, because I'm sure it makes Buddy a little, easy.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
And you can blame him. Terrifying events sleepovers are.
Anything else before rest, y'all?
Kobold Jones is going to sneak out and try to help the medical people until he passes out.
Okay, sure. Anyone else want to do anything while the rest of the group starts heading to rest?
Can I attempt to spot Kobold Jones?
Depends.
Okay.
So, here's the thing. Kobold Jones, are you going to pretend to sleep and then go? Or, like, wait till everyone's, like, sitting before you're just like, I'm gonna go take a piss? Like, what? Are you going for, like, the bluff or the sneak? I guess the idea.
I guess it's more like once it seems like nobody's really paying attention and everyone's, like, getting settled in, just gonna, like, kind of walk away.
Okay.
And go there, not announce anything.
Give me, because everyone is kind of, at this point, it's been a whole night. So give me a stealth check at advantage, and that'll be opposed by Orville's perception check.
I actually probably am not even sneaking. Like, when I said sneak out, but I meant, like, just not announcing, hey, I'm gonna go do this thing.
Just like walk away.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, Orville, you would see. I mean, you're wise enough to note that, like, Kobold Jones is just dipping. You're like, now is the time for bed, and Kobold Jones is like, yeah, cool, and then, like, stops talking for like a good 20 minutes. Everyone's getting pillows together, setting up meditation areas, and Kobold Jones is like, the whole way just off screen.
Yeah, got that Homer Simpson in the bush.
Yeah, he slowly goes into the bush. I mean, no one's gonna stop him in this room, but you do see Kobold Jones sneak off.
I'll follow him.
All right.
Follow him out.
Easy enough to do. Everyone else good for starting your long rest? All right. So yeah, do I call you the brothers Judd and Jones, third and first? I don't know. We'll figure out, like, we need like a cool buddy cop movie if I ever license
I'm
this.
into Jorville.
Jorville? I'm a big fan of
I'm
Jorville.
into it.
That's pretty good. It's like a ship name, though. So in the event that there's ever someone like, oh, I think these characters, Jorville is like the name of a ship. So just letting you guys know. You guys ship Jorville. Jorville in the chat. Let's put some J's in the chat for Jorville.
We got a longboat. We can get some oars. We can, find some nice 12th century churches.
Oh yeah.
Go pillaging.
Yeah. As lovebirds do.
As the Jorville does.
As the Jorville does. As the Jorville set sail. But yeah, you all, the pair of you, make it out through the ballroom. You note, in an attempt to kind of go like through the actual home itself, various sections of the ceiling, the hallways, walls, and kind of like much of like the pathway through the home are in various states of disrepair, from collapsed or outright caved in roofs to rooms being completely broken open and torn, slash marks across it. Eventually you legitimately just find a hole in the wall that exits out into the front yard, away from the front door. Assumedly you want to avoid the Lady Galante herself. But you do come into view of the medical area. As you do, you see a rather short individual that seems to be wearing not so much like a medical jacket, but just like a white strip that seems to be ripped from like clerical robes, just kind of like haphazardly tied around the front of them, almost like a business tie. The small gnomish individual runs to you and goes, "Yes, hello. Apologies. What are your ailments?" And they hold up in their hand a small strip of yellow cloth, a small strip of red cloth, and a small strip of black cloth.
I'm just here to try to help.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a doctor.
Oh, you're a doctor. Doctor, what is your name, Doctor?
Kobold. Dr.
Kobold. Not familiar with the work, sir, but at this point we're too desperate to turn anyone away. Please, right this way. Do you have your own medical supplies? Do you require? Are you a surgeon, a child's doctor, pediatrics, perhaps? What is your specialty, sir?
I'm a battlefield medic, and all of my tools got eaten by a giant monster.
Battlefield medic, no tools. Okay, of course. How long have you been practicing, doctor?
Let's see. I'm 40, so on and off 30 years.
30 years of doctoring expertise. Right this way, please. We'll surely find somebody. I'll introduce you to our field lead. Kind of walks over. You see this rather tall, kind of half giantess woman who is clad in full kind of medical scrubs, covered in blood, is barking and yelling at folks regarding various just what they need to be doing for triage. She said, we need to make sure that these people are treated this way. And she's going through and even as she's kind of commanding those in her authority to help in any way possible, she's also at this point checking in on some of the most wounded people. You note in the actual facility itself, the roof has already been kind of torn open and moved away, the rubble's been cleared off, and long benches are being used for a number of various medical professionals working in effectively full, very much battlefield medicine, stitching what they can, hemming what they can't, and even performing full limb removal for things that they just cannot save. The few folks towards the back that seem to have any type of divine or arcane healing ability are trying to treat those on the closest steps to death's door. And you do see even further towards the back, there are a number of people shaking their heads and slowly pulling out surgical implements and slowly ending lives of those who are suffering far beyond what they're able to save. This woman kind of turns and looks to you. You can see she does stand rather tall. She bears a bit of a resemblance more to like a mountainous humanoid. And she kind of looks down at you and to this gnomish individual. She goes, "What do we have there?" And he goes, "This is Dr. Kobold and his assistant." And turns and looks to you, Orville, and goes, "I didn't catch your name, nurse."
You can call me Orville.
Nurse Orville. Dr. Kobold states he has 30 years medical experience and is lacking proper tools. And you see this like narrowing gaze look down on you, Kobold Jones, and this kind of tall, mountainous doctor looks to you and goes, 30 years experience?
I mean, on and off on the battlefield. I'm more for like, treating stuff that spurting blood,
Churchill.
chopping off limbs.
Good. I've left a medical kit.
People down.
I've left a medical kit there on the eastern edge. That area will be yours. I will fill it with patients immediately.
All right. I would appreciate if you had someone else that's helpful and is more dexterous than me. Like.
She points to your nurse.
Okay.
Is that not why you brought your friend here?
Are you good with that, Orville?
I can't spare any hands.
Yeah, I can make do. I'm much better with kinesthetics, but I'll be a hand.
All right, fuck it, let's do it.
All right. The pair of you walk over to this like prepped 4-table area. There is a medical kit that's been opened up with every kind of like, there's a surgery kit, there's a medical kit, and there's kind of like just like various small implements, what little they can spare and kind of get together. As you all are kind of like looking over the various tools of the trade, true to her word, you see 3 people loaded in to your area, sat on benches. And we're gonna, you know what? I love Grey's Anatomy, and it would be too fitting if I didn't have a D100 chart full of people in need of medical triage. Isn't that fun? So, we're going to head and roll our first one. Here. Un momento, por favor. Dr. Kobold Jones, we take you now to Kobold's Anatomy. Let's see here. All right. Kobold Jones, you come in, and their first patient arrives, screaming, bleeding. You know it to be a half-orcish individual, currently suffering from what can only be described as a impalement right above the center mass of their right knee. Blood still sprays in timing with their heart. They seem gasping, and they are very pale. You may choose to roll medicine if you would like, or if you want to describe how you go about solving these ailments.
All right, so out of character, before we continue this, Kyle is squeamish and could never do this and doesn't know anything about this.
I know.
Kobold Jones, however, has
He's
a
smart.
+6 at medicine and has high wisdom. So
That's good. Again,
I'm not going to be
roll.
able to answer anything, so I'm going to be rolling for everything.
Right.
I don't know the answer.
No problem there. That's why I give the option. You do have an assistant. Orville, are you trained in medicine?
I am.
Okay, you can give advantage to all of these medicine rolls as they come through.
I will do that. I also have 3 key points on deck in case anything goes horribly wrong.
All right. If at any time you want to use a key point, instead of rolling, declare it before the roll, and we will use a key point instead of the medical roll. But divine or otherwise otherworldly healing will solve many of these ailments. Okay?
Okay.
I will tell you now, this is effectively a mini game of sorts. It's very grim and dark to say that. The better you do, the better it'll be for everyone. The worse you do, God help our souls. Okay? Let's start Kobold's Anatomy. Last time on Kobold's Anatomy. Mi amor, por qué? Rodrigo, Maria. Just the whole time. The
Donde
days of our
está el
kobolds.
baño?
El baño. Como se dice shark?
Esto es tiburón.
So, this half-orc, crying out, knee squirting blood, spraying down much of your one sanitary station, is calling for any weaver in heaven themselves to help them. Yes, Orville.
Can I use a key point on this one just to start us off on a good foot?
Sure, no problem at all.
And maybe start this fellow off on a good foot too.
You watch Dr. Kobold pull up his medical instruments and is like, pulls out the bone saw, thinks it over, and Orville, you walk over 3 or 4 direct acupunctural hits, and you slowly pull the metallic object out. There's a large kind of scream, and before he dies from removal and the eventual bleeding out, you healing hands. It is sealed immediately, and you hear, and the orc stays at 1 hit point, because that's what half orcs do. Kind of looks you over, sits up, pops their knee in and out, goes, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Now get out of here. We got more people coming in.
All right, we're going to put down 1 success.
Walk it off, buddy.
Walk it off. And then we'll put failures over here. The next one for our skill challenges. Your next individual is wearing what it looks like a red scarf. Again, in critical condition at this point. You're assumedly everyone's going to be wearing red that come in here. There's not going to be a lot of small, weak ailments. They wouldn't waste a doctor that has 30 years experience on headaches and broken fingers. So it's all kind of like scary stuff. You look over, you see this individual being hefted up. A member of the medical staff continues to hold their head. You look, their neck is swollen and has been broken in several places. They are coughing, and they are, again, very pale. You kind of look them over. You note their nail beds are, their nail beds are pale and lacking pinkness. They are human. And it looks as if they have some type of head trauma, as they are currently bleeding very slightly from the top of their forehead where a haphazard bandage has been tied into place. You may roll, use a key point, or attempt to diagnose them correctly. And I want everyone to know, they told me I would never have a use for this after I got out of paramedics class. And you just keep all the homework, and you turn it into D&D nonsense. Thanks, y'all. Everything's a chart. What would you like to do, Dr. Kobold?
All right, Orville. I'm going to see if I can figure this out.
All right, medicine at advantage. Orville looks him over and goes, that guy's going to die.
13.
13. You look it over. You do diagnose this individual. The head trauma that they've had is clearly causing an issue with the regulation of their blood. As you look them over, they also seem to be suffering a fracture, probably stress fractures along the back of their neck. Your diagnosis is most likely what you, with a 13, would assume, to attempt to realign and settle their neck until it is in a brace and kind of secure that before addressing the head wound. If you would like, you may perform one of 2 actions, and you as a team, you decide which one you want to do. You may either A, perform a sleight of hand check to realign and carefully put their neck in, or you may perform an athletics check to forcefully set their body back into place.
All right, I just want to let you know there's nothing slight about these hands. But
That's why there's 2 of you.
I'm good at athletics.
I've got plenty slight hands, but these hands are not athletic.
Oh my
Perfect
god, it's
team.
like you're the perfect couple.
All right, well, what do you think? Should I just beat this
You're the
guy's neck
doctor.
back in? All right, well, I'm beating his neck back in.
All right, athletics at Orville. Are you trained in athletics?
Nope.
Kobold Jones, you're solo rolling this.
Ooh, we did really good here.
Okay.
That's a 10.
10 total. You hear a snap, a pop, some gargling. Their mouth fills with phlegm and blood. Seems as if something has broken as you've gone to reset the neck. You have 2 options yet again. 1, there is a small instrument that you can employ, which is, it looks like a small tube that you can place in their throat to acquire drainage on the open neck. Alternatively, you can attempt to turn them on their side. Your choice.
You're good with tubes, right?
Sure.
All right, I'll hold them. You tube them.
All right, you're going to attempt to intubate this
All right.
individual. Go ahead here and give me a sleight of hand check, Orville.
You got it.
Kobold Jones
+5,
holds
that
their head
is going
steady.
to be 22.
22. You put the tube down, small pushing of their chest in and out, regulating what you can of their breathing. Slowly spraying out of this tube, you see the viscera and phlegm clear out of the area. Working together, you do get a brace on this individual, and you look them over with some very simple bandaging. You manage to redress their head, keep pressure on their wound, and do everything you can to make them as comfortable as possible. You have a success.
High
Number
five.
3.
Bloody high five. Psh.
Bloody high five. All right. This next individual comes to you. They are laid cold. They're wearing a black tag. And there is no movement or chest movement at all.
A black tag.
Are they still alive?
You
I mean, they don't have a pulse or anything?
You move up. And you feel for it. Go ahead and give me a investigation check.
I'm going to use one of my...
For that, you can get advantage.
Okay, I'm not trained in it. However, I do have my maneuver dice I can use for investigation.
Yeah.
So I'll do that.
All right, go for it.
Do I get it at advantage since?
Yeah, I'd say the skill lets you get a bonus to it. So yeah, why not?
All right, there's my good roll. So, let's see, 14, 22.
22. You feel for it. There is a very, very faint pulse. Anything lower than 20, you'd not have caught this. They are technically still alive, but they are not breathing. You can attempt a medical check, or you can attempt to spend your key point. Your choice. Or, if you know what to do in this situation, you can just say it.
Son of a bitch.
I'm just gonna medicine it.
Just medicine it. Go for it.
Oh,
You get advantage.
I'm okay. Well, that's pretty good. So, that's a 25.
25. Tapping into your ancient Koboldian doctorate. You remember your ABCs. Airway, breathing, circulation. This individual is no longer breathing. Working together with the 22, Orville tilts the head back, opens up their mouth, clears the airway, looks inside their mouth. Orville, you find small pieces of stone. You scoop out of their mouth. They seem to have swallowed some shrapnel. They're bleeding in the throat, but it doesn't look to be comprehensive at this point. All you have to do now is start getting them breathing again. Kobold Jones, I need an athletics check as you start chest compressions.
If I get too high, do I kill them?
You snap their sternum. No, there's actually, you'd be surprised the amount of pressure you can put on somebody and be completely fine.
Well, I do have 20 strength now, but that's going to be a 14.
14. You start compressions. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. With your training and with current medical knowledge, you know that you don't have to administer breath. You just have to do compressions. That's it. It's freaking weird. You're welcome, Internet. You continue for minutes at this point. Going 1, 2, 3. Your choice. You can switch positions with Orville and let Orville start chest compressions, or you can roll a Constitution saving throw to continue going and risk exhausting yourself.
I'm going to do a con save.
All right, make your con save. The DC for this is 12.
All right, that's a 24.
24. This kobold ain't take no shit. You continue chest compressions. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You keep going as best you can. Finally, after 3 full minutes, you hear a cough. The chest rises and falls. You see them cough up other pieces of swallowed material that seems to have flown into their mouth, and they come back to life. That is another successful individual. All right. All 3 of them are moved from your station. You're given roughly 5 minutes or so to kind of clean up your station, clean your area, and prep for the next set of individuals that are coming through. Is there anything you want to do as far as for spellcasting, preparation, or anything in particular before you get your next group?
Not really anything I do in 5 minutes.
Hey, you never know. Good to go? Good to go.
Yeah, I mean, I'll clean up a little whatever blood and phlegm.
All right.
I suppose.
You mop up as best you're able. Coming through, you continue on. 2 people this round are brought in. The first one that you address, you look upon, is wearing a bright red tag. similar in many ways. And let's see what their major malfunction is. 75. Oh, okay. They are sitting there, and they are holding their finger to their cheek. But they actually are sitting, walking in on their own volition, and they're just holding their cheek with one finger.
What's happening?
Well, this. They move their finger, and a spray of blood shoots down onto the front of your armor. They slowly put their finger back. But it kind of squirts out like a heartbeat. And then they put their finger back.
Alright, don't remove your finger again until I say so. Or until Orville says so.
Yeah. How many fingers am I holding up? Orville will hold up 3 fingers in front of this person.
The guy looks at you and goes, 6.
He'll elbow and look at Jones.
Yeah, what's up?
He's seeing double. Yeah. Probably took a good knock to the head. Well, whatever caused the eye bleeding.
Alright. So what do you think we should do?
Find a way to unknock his head. And that one's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, sounds like it. I'm gonna think of a way to unknock his head with a medicine check.
Go right ahead, medicine check advantage.
Out of character, if you have the answer to any of these things and you want me to employ them, tell me, because I will not have any answers.
Okay. I have very, very basic medical knowledge.
For all of our medical experts in chat. This is actually a fun one. This is a Florida Hospital, Tampa. This is a patient we had come in. Yeah, this is great, isn't it?
19.
19. You look it over. You note the best thing for this individual is going to be making sure they're hydrated, making sure that they are kept awake. So you inform medical staff that they cannot sleep. They clearly have a concussion. And bandaging with a tight compress over the affected area. They're going to need surgery, and that's up to you if you want to attempt to perform surgery here. But they're going to actually need to have this part of their face, which they've broken a major artery in the front of their cheek, which is a very weird one. It's actually it's a blown vein that's like right up in here. If you feel confident in it, you can attempt another medicine check to perform that. You'll need to stop the area of which it's bleeding and pack in the area itself. You do have the gauze available in your medical kit.
If we apply the compress and let them go, will they be good for a little while, or
they'll survive most likely the day, but they're going to need effective healing or something of that sort. So effectively, you can apply what you have available and be completely fine, and you will succeed. But if you'd like the bonus point, you can attempt the surgery yourself right now.
What do you think, Orville? I mean, they may bring in a guy whose leg's like touching his forehead.
Can Orville just balance on one foot and like touch his other foot to his forehead?
Sure.
Just like, yeah, what about it, Jones? Like,
that's cartoony and brilliant.
Yeah, well, you're like a freak. In the best way possible.
Damn.
The pot calling the kettle black.
You a freak in the sheets, alright? That's all that
There's
means.
no sheets here, we skipped the slumber party.
Yeah, whatever. Alright, fuck it, let's just fix him.
Alright, go ahead and make a medical check. Go medicine, go.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Yeah, working together between Orville holding pressure on the cheek, you going in there with surgical implements, you cut open the wound, you find and stem the bleeding, you put in a bit of kind of an internal blocker, you seal up and sew, couple stitches to the cheek, you gauze it over, little bit of residual blood, but you seem to have stopped the major bleeding internally that was previously squirting out of their face. Always fun. Great thing is if you squeeze it really, really hard, you can fracture those. No one tells you that. But yes, there and the bonus. Your final person here, who is sitting on this small table, looks to you, and you look, and their neck is mostly twisted over their shoulder. They can almost look behind them, but they are very much awake. very much aware of what's going on. None of their appendages move, arm, legs, nothing. As you poke and you kind of grip their fingers, no response. There's no functionality of their body, but they are very much still alive. Just their head is twisted a far bit too over their shoulder.
Oh, Jonesy, you were a little rough with the last neck patient, so I think I'm going to take this one. That's all right with you?
I think that's a good idea. I don't want to, go too far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you go too far, you'll end up right back where you started. Just the other way.
It's true.
We wouldn't want that.
Which, we definitely prefer this way than the other way.
Oh, absolutely.
So, Orville, are you using a key point?
Yeah.
Boom. You use the magic of your healing hands, popping, snapping, and cracking this person's head straight forward. They're going to be sore. They're going to be in pain for the foreseeable future. But at the end of just a couple of seconds, via monk magic, all their fingers, toes, they all seem to wiggle and have full functionality. You guys have succeeded for a total of 5 patients, navigating 6 points of good that you've done for the community. At this point, it is up to you. You can play a final round, or you can call it here. If you play the final round, you will end up with exhaustion for the following day. If you tap out now, you've at least saved 5 lives that would have died otherwise.
I think we should probably call it here. I don't know. I don't want to make a mistake.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little sleepy here. All right, well. Yeah, what we got?
Yeah, we can check in tomorrow.
That's good to me. I'll go find somewhere to sleep now.
I'll go over to the person in charge and let them know what's up.
She looks you over. She sees the 5 people you've saved. Each of them are coming to slowly, either coming to conscious, finding ways to become stable. She thanks you both for your time. She notes and she goes, I don't have anything right this minute that I can provide you other than my thanks. However, for what it's worth, and she pulls out a small kind of what looks like a pharmacy pad from in the day, and she writes down a token of her favor, and she hands each of you a page, like a kind of a script pad, stating that you are owed credit by the Galanti medical staff.
Does that just mean like coins?
It's legitimately, once everything is settled, you know that the medical staff here in this facility sold various healing implements. Everything from potions to medical kits to advanced kind of items that are specifically for personnel only, like folks that work in the facility. So she's effectively writing you an IOU for once everything is settled down, you can come redeem that for exclusive things that are only available to medical staff.
Okay. You're welcome. Just trying to help.
You're doing the Weaver's work. Thank you.
All right, and then
As
turn
are you.
around and
Thank you.
walk away.
Okay. The pair of you return back to the group a few hours later, just about as Velithil and Bartholomew are kind of like rising from the elven sleep. You look over and you see Celeste passed out on a bed, JJ passed out on a bed, Velithil slowly coming to out of meditation. Bartholomew is just sitting, holding his knees, eyes wide awake, seeming unable to sleep, but looks rested-ish, as rested as very sleepy buddy can be. You look over and you see Morgan completely passed out. Chunkini sat in the fold, like kind of like the half crescent moon bend of her, and then sat on the other side of her. Their back against her back is Charles.
All right. Normally would have used my bedroll for this, but that got eaten by a big mean monster. So go find an empty bed and take off my armor and pass out.
Easy enough to do. Orville, any last things before you pass out?
Put the stick in bed next to me,
Okay.
and just sleep with like a leg or an arm over it.
You You roll a bit of blanket over your stick, and you make like a body pillow with it. You cuddle up against the body pillow of your magic item.
Spooning the stick.
Spooning the stick. Yeah, so you're the big stick and the little stick. Easy enough to do. Velithil, as our two doctoring folks, which honestly, good job. Go back after saving lives on the last episode of Kobold's Anatomy. You stir and awake, and as you kind of come out of your meditation, you see both of them covered in sweat, like very much like wiping the brow, hands like washed now, but there's like still that kind of like dark stain that they've been working with people for a while. Their outfits and clothing are kind of like even more soiled, if it can be believed. But you come to and you look across and you see Bartholomew kind of like holding his knees, and then does the like from holding his knees like half wave, and everyone else is asleep as described. Is there anything you'd like to do while waiting for people to complete their long rest?
Kind of hazard to think of anything that could be done.
Anything you want. Cold-blooded murder, now's your chance. Just you and Mr. Stabby Stab.
There's 5 people that just got saved.
That means there's 5 bodies that need to die.
I have to go undo what has been done, because
Thanos
that's
thing.
totally how I talked about how I wanted this to be.
Yeah, just full like Thanos balance. You could be Thanos from the What If series on Disney Plus. Where it totally turns a new leaf, but genocide was easier.
Let me explain to you why, Val. It kind of is, Val.
It's one of my favorite things in the What If. Yeah, anything you might want to do, explore, or discuss, up to you. If not, we'll fast forward to the rest of the group waking up, and Kobold and Orville kind of staying a bit.
Just fast forward's fine.
Fast forward's fine? Okay. So, a long rest passes for the majority of the group. Kobold, Jones, Orville, you both sleep in a little bit, having done a little extra heroing on the side. You moonlighted as doctors and got away with it, so good for you. The rest of you all rise and wake. The 4 of you remaining, and Charles, wake up. You see throughout, like kind of getting closer to the end of your watch, Bartholomew would have gone, collected rations, and brought them back in like a small little like snack corner. So at least everyone had something to eat upon their awakening. But you all rise after a long rest, so you can press the long rest button on your character sheet, and you are all now, after staying in a safe location, level 8, fully level 8 now, with all your spell slots, abilities, etc., all through. As you stir, you look, Kobold Jones, fully, I'm assuming, like, dog on their back, laid out, leg twitching in the air. Orville drooling heavily over the side of his body pillow stick. Sure, this is what the Weavers envisioned when they made that weapon. Oh yes, drool all over it. That unlocks its superpowers. But yes, is there anything you guys want to do or declare for level 8 that you've taken? Walk around and be like, nah, I'm kidding. I think I have an email I have to open. So yeah, while we're doing that, let's tell you what, while I fix this up, let's go ahead here and we'll call our break a little early. So it's 8:35 now. Let's do 5 minutes. Is that cool? 5 minutes. When we come back, everyone will be level 8. We'll update the stream a little bit just after the break. But yeah, 8:35. We'll come back at 8:40, folks, and we'll see you then. Deuces, gooses. All right, folks, and we are back. I actually have to click. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Frames. There we go. Yoink. Oh no, not frames. Different one. Where is it? Should be modular. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. let's go ahead and background March 2022. Done. Should be slightly updated, I think. I did it right, which, let's give me credit. Yes, everyone should be updated to level 8. I think that looks right. Fairly sure.
My dex is up. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a heck of a some of the small numbers change, but that's it. But anyway, hi guys, welcome back after the break. Hi YouTube, hi Twitch, how everyone's doing. For everyone who stayed with us, super glad you're still here. Thank you, our level 20 characters. Before the break, the group had come back to town, heard from the Lady Galante herself as to a bit of her wisdom or advice and counsel of what should happen or occur. As well, the ship of, I already forgot, Jorville. The ship Jorville snuck away from the group to perform some medical procedures rather successfully, which is super awesome. In keeping with it, they have earned themselves a written script of an IOU for the medical facility themselves, and a bit of goodwill put back into the world, which could be relevant. Who knows? So with that, we return back to the Seekers of Galante, having completed their long rest, leveling up to level 8. And yeah, what's up? Hi, all. Seekers of Galante, as you stir from your slumber, fully rested, and more or less feeling of how the world now sits in the wake of such strange starry nights. Very much the choices are yours and yours alone as to what steps to take next. Kobold Jones and Orville, in the effort of keeping everything together and stop splitting the party after so many episodes, we'll just say you guys, as everyone's wolfing down breakfast, you guys come to, roll over, and wake up. That way we're not sitting here with this is the sleeping half, and this is the resting half, and this is the... Yes, everyone stirs, awakes, and comes to. Seekers of Galante, the ball is very much in your court. The world is very much your oyster. And what you do next is fully in your purview and control. What would you all like to do?
Are we still going on the boat?
I was actually gonna go ask Lady Galante about that, if current events
there's a
should
boat still?
change our plans, or...
Sounds like a good idea.
So, heading to the Lady Galante to check on things? Yep, okay. You all head out after a long rest. You do find the lady herself under an umbrella in the yard, sat in a long chair, and is seeming to relax a bit, but more or less delegate out a number of things that still need doing. Her diamond still stands attentively at her side, and as you all approach, she has a servant kind of standing beside her, dictating much of what she's discussing. She sits up a little bit higher in her chair and looks you all over and goes, "Oh, good to see you again, my darling seekers. I hope your rest was, well, able to restore a bit of your spirit, and at the very least you find yourselves clear of mind and level-headed as to decide where best your talents should be directed."
Yeah, I guess that's the question. Are we still... Should we still take on the requests that were permitted, or is there something bigger now with all this?
Well, that is where we are in a bit of a issue, to say the least. I have had now several hours to gain some more insight and information into the goings-ons of the city itself. As to be expected, many of the great houses are still in utter chaos and disarray. They scramble to rally their Weaver's Chosen, their familiar god, and servants to get everything to a united front. I am noticing, unfortunately, that it does appear that many of the other houses, while still intact, lack the organization and good fortune that you all have purchased for us. That being said, there is a rather strange district in the northwest quadrant of the docks that now seek to champion an individual of which I am rather concerned of, but they seek this individual out to bade them guidance and appoint them as their speaker for their worldly events. Once this matter is resolved, I assume there will be a meeting of the various leaders of the city, through which I must admit I am currently in a rather opportunistic position. Continuing on these requests would be functionally ideal at this point, as every request that is completed to the outside world that has been wholly unaffected by this tragedy are still our primary source of revenue and income, and with the other Weaver's Chosen in my employ either already out on a venture or in absolutely no state to be deployed, you are my only option when it comes down to, shall we say, padding the lily. Many of the things that are going to be required for rebuilding are going to be quite costly endeavors, especially as many of the carpenters and smiths of Ravan are likely to be unavailable for us. It means we must reach northward for assistance, or throughout the kingdom's south, which of course requires rather expensive travel considerations. But the decision is wholly yours, of course.
Sorry, out of character. That was a bit confusing. What decision?
The decision of what you actually want to do, if you want to continue on these quests that have been pre-assigned to you, or if you feel there are bigger fish to fry. So out of character, she's looking at it as the only financial income that is coming into the city right now is from the completion of Weaver's Chosen quests, as many of the merchants, trade routes, etc., through other subsidy means, are likely unable to function, in a sense. The way she looks at it is that you're going to need carpenters, masons, medical personnel, any assistance that can be garnered from outside sources are going to be expensive at this point, as, at least to the Lady Galanti, she is of the opinion that they cannot reach out to Ravan for help. That Ravan is effectively opposed to the will, or freedoms rather, of Weaver's Chosen. More based off of her assumptions and information that she might be aware of from the events that have preceded in Ravan. Speaking to that as well, she would inform you that while there are bigger things, the other complication is that unless there is approval from another nation, the actual boundary that exists in Smokewatch is still effectively a militaristic camp and a lockdown area that would lead into kind of the area of which has assaulted you. It would require a council meeting, and it would require a number of the families seeking out approval to send a group out there, which, being that everything is completely destroyed, government does not move very fast as it is, in her opinion. So she's looking at it from and as she's even said, an opportunistic standpoint, that since she's in a place where most of her assets are still secure. She's likely going to be the one that will be able to open her doors first to anyone who's not of her home and gain capital, currency, power, and influence for being able to help people, as well as effectively the goodwill that brings. She looks at it as well that every mission you complete, especially since many of them were assigned to you, are additional bits of capital that will come into and help with relief efforts. Because she doesn't look at it any other way other than effectively what the other houses are going to have to do, which is begging for assistance, like begging for any type of other government to come in and lend assistance, workers, people of that sort.
But still, the only other option is to take it in our own hands to try and go to Arnhem.
I mean, it's really not like black and white as an option. Like you could attempt to go to Arnhem and muscle your way through, or sneak past the border. You could go to Ravon and seek out anyone who might be able to help you there. If you want, instead of doing the request submissions for you, you do have an entire map to kind of just gain where you'd like to go. The only options that she sees at this point are staying and just spending a bunch of time here and like day in, day out, assisting people as best that you're able. She just thinks that the more productive option is to go on with these quests because the outside world doesn't know yet what has befallen the world, and anything that you accomplish would be money in her pocket, in your pockets, to then aid in relief efforts. As she stated very plainly when you guys showed up, to you, while anything is possible and available to you, you are not masons, carpenters. I mean, one of you is now officially, I'm going to say, doctor-ish, but it's not clerical in nature. And once people have had a long rest to restore their spell slots, many of the local church will be able to better assist than what modern medicine can accomplish. But she looks at it as, you can take time here and take like a good chunk of downtime and stay during the rebuilding efforts, or, and what she sees as the better option, is get a start while the rest of Weaver's Chosen are unable to do anything, and really hammer out anything you want to do as your legacy, and use that as a way to propel yourselves even further forward from those who are unable to go questing or assist anyone in need at this time.
Okay, so what do we want to do, team?
I mean,
I'm in favor of going out and kind of snowballing ourselves bigger and better.
I do have a concept that we have a nice friend in Iskander who has high positioning who owes a favor to Jones that could be a good favor to the house and this entire city in need.
I think that is a great option. If that's what Jones wants to do with his favor.
Yeah.
I mean, it was only 2,000 gold, right? Was it 5? 2?
It was goodwill that required no payback, so who knows what much that will buy in return.
And 2,000 gold is actually like a decent amount in the grand scheme of things. It may
Well, I
not
got
seem like a
none
lot
now.
to us.
While the amount was floated about, this is one of those types of things as like a dwarven bit of honor. Like, you've watched Disney Channel. There's this really cool movie called Blank Check. That's kind of where you're at if you were like, hey, calling in that favor. You have the, if you've ever seen Jersey Boys, you've gotten a note, you've gotten a ticket, you got a half of $100 bill that will be repaid in kind.
Yeah, I mean, we could mess with that, or we could always, check out whatever's going on in Grim Village. That's definitely the closest area if they didn't get blown up by these monster things.
Well, I mean, that's true. Would the ship still be? I guess now I'm in character asking the lady. Would the ship that you were having prepared still be an option at this point?
More than likely not. However, I would be more than happy to purchase a chartered voyage to any individual looking to leave the city at this point and ensure that you make your way on there. I would not like to invest such currency haphazardly, but it is an investment that I think is well worth the endeavors you will go on. If you mean to take the river, I would, of course, ask of you to deliver a message to the individuals of Grim Village along the way, seeking that we would, of course, be hiring any carpenters, masons, even local authority, militia, to work at premium rates to ensure the peace is kept and that, well, civilization is restored at this point. I will be candid with you as well, my chosen. The way things are currently blowing through the city, I think there is a change on the wind here in Deerwood. I think it is a change that must happen. I do not think it will happen easily, but with the right support, financial backing, and ability to mobilize on it, I do think great change can occur here in this city, and that we will be a people more able to steadfastly and quickly react to dangers as they come, instead of the long drawn-out processes that it currently is.
And we would also likely be able to quickly prepare a trip by road if we desired.
I do believe you still have the gift I arranged for you.
We do.
Well, such things are meant for these situations.
That is a fast creature indeed.
The best money could buy at the time. Of course, if we were to entreat the individuals of the home Deshra, we might find an archaeomancer or other arcanely persons that could assist in rapid transportation if there were a particular area that was in their reach and you had in mind.
The thought of stopping in Grim Village, informing them, making requests, and notification of everything. The question is then to head to the Basulian colony to deal with their problem, or to go to Iskander first to try and bolster more help from some old favors.
It does seem as if you are spoiled for choice in this regard, Velethil.
Yes, I will say you may want to reach out to Numeria. In signing off my privilege, I did request that they treat well the House Galanti, so while there is some distance, it could be of benefit.
I will draft a sending to them as soon as I am able.
Shall we have a moment to discuss how we want to proceed forward now?
But of course. She kind of like. She's sitting,
team.
so you guys can walk away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Team.
let's see here. Yeah, we'll say the passive perception of the group is large enough that as you guys kind of like start turning back, you see the kind of scribe next to the Lady Galante. The lady snaps her fingers and points to them. You note they walk very stepidly forward and hand a letter to Bartholomew. He kind of just takes it and looks at it, and he's like, "What am I?" And it's the scribe kind of walks back to the lady, starts penning back, and she kind of waves him off. You see Bartholomew holding this letter and like looks at it, looks at the front, looks at the back. Like slowly starts trying to like take the tip of his big sword and like try to cut the edges of it without cutting his hand open. He fails. One of his fingers gets cut. He goes, "Oh shit!" and slowly unfurls it. Starts reading it over.
Everything alright, Bartholomew?
Yes. Oh, yes.
boy
No,
needs-
everything's good. Everything, and he folds the letter back up and like just kind of puts it in his dirty robes. No problems here. Ready
Folks
to.
in the docks have something for you?
Wait, that's a very pointed question, I would say. Don't even know those people that I saved. Apparently. Yeah, so they're asking me to be their mayor, but I don't think there can be a mayor of just a dock. He goes and turns the letter over, and it's like a very hastily drawn and crudely drawn thing. And it is a statement of the small collected people in the last few hours, stating that there was a hero of the lady's home that stood fast and saved lives when other people ran and hid. And so they've asked him to come forth and lead them in these trying times. He's like, yeah, so I'm going to just go ahead and pass on that one. That seems real dumb. So, yeah, great.
Still, pretty nice honor.
Yeah, sure, I guess.
That's the
Kinda.
thought that counts.
Yeah, thought that counts. I don't... Yeah. Something to think about, I guess. Don't know. Seems a bit odd. Anyway. Planning.
Right. As we're back to the sea or land option here for us.
I mean, I have to imagine that, like, someone that had a boat and was near it probably would have taken that boat and gotten out of here, right?
I mean, there'd be boats that were in dock that may not have been destroyed, and that's what I think we'd be trying to aim for, that not necessarily the owners would be on them.
You also have to consider that this is a city where trade is very prevalent. Like boats, new ships will probably be arriving regardless of the destruction throughout the night and the day. New ships. Water, rivered craft.
Also, the boat real good coming back with workers and supplies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And then
you're
we
pretty
hear about
assured.
river and land.
Well, either way, we'd stop in Grim Village. The question is, do we want to head up to Barzilian Colony first, or Iskander first?
I think that's a good question, but I think that's something that we can answer after Grim Village. I feel like we should probably, put our pants on 2 legs at a time like everyone else.
You put your pants on 2 legs at a time? Impressive.
Don't?
Gotta jump really high.
No, I do 1 leg. And
I guess
sometimes I fall over.
what I thought from what we were informed was we'd be chartering our ship to Barzilian Colony if we take a ship. and stopping in Grim Village. Which is why I thought it was a decision now. Is that incorrect?
That's how you want to get there. It's up to you. The idea being that if you chartered a ship that would take you there, then you would have a ship there at the time. But the Barzulan colony is on land, so if you were to travel all the way up, you would effectively have a quicker route to go to Barzulan by ship, and you'd have a quicker route to go to Iskandar by land. So Grim Village, either way, is on your path to either one of those options. It's just you would have an easier time getting to Barzulan first, or Barzula first, if you took a waterborne craft, and you'd have a quicker time getting to Iskandar if you just went by foot. But having the available option for water travel is kind of what you're looking for right now.
Yeah.
It's also an investment. You do know that getting a ship would have the effect of the lady having to spend a bit more capital to procure it. Granted, she already had it set aside for you, so it's not like hugely detrimental. She's going to end up in the poorhouse over it, but it is one more cost associated not going towards the rebuilding and restructuring of the city.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like with that said, we should just hoof it.
You mean beetle it?
Got a beetle.
And then we'll have to get like horses and carriage in Grim Village. If we don't get a ship at that point. Because the beetle will be inactive for another 7 or 8 days then?
Just about.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just don't think that we should be taking money away from these people.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah, they need a whole lot more than we do.
Agreed.
Agreed.
So head to Grim Village, decide which path we want to take that point, because we've chartered a ship in Grim Village before. It's possible we would get one there. It's just going to be money directly out of our pockets.
Yeah, I can help facilitate that too. So
Money out of your pockets. All my money got eaten.
That is true.
Think we can figure it out?
Yeah, I think we have the means to figure it out once we get to Grim Village and see what our options are there.
And say you have 3 different things that are big jobs in Grim Village that all pay out coin. So, worst case scenario.
There's 3 in Grim Village?
Well, 2, and then one of you is a cleaner.
I guess I only remember the one that was the mission she proposed to us.
The mission she proposed to you, the tracking down or finding the scimitars that are in the area, which you would assume as a bandit style people, likely going to have some type of monetary value in taking down or dealing with, and then of course being the cleaner.
Yeah, okay.
The cleaner.
But the request there was a
bodyguard
several
job.
month thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't it pay out in increments though?
Mm-hmm. It's actually like a swords for hire kind of job from an individual in town.
It also comes down to if we want to work for that person, because it's more trying to figure out any parts that they may have played.
Look, if management sucks, I'm willing to walk out.
People solve the prisoner's dilemma all the time, guys.
How many people can the bug hold, the beetle?
It can hold your whole party. Size huge, that's what, 3x3, so 9 squares, so it can hold 9 people, we'll say.
Yeah. We all rode on it before. It's what we took to get to the tower.
Yeah. Okay. I think we should hit up that Grim Village and see what we can find there. We can sniff out the bodyguard job, and if, manager gets testy, I'll drop a fool, and then we'll keep going.
Alright. Anyone else have anything here? Or
Actually, I want to see if I can, borrow indefinitely some plate armor. This stuff sucks.
Borrow indefinitely.
Or have.
I can just buy you some armor, Jones. It's fine.
So that's something the lady would have here?
There are a number of people that have been drawn from the wreckage and been kind of disrobed of their worldly possessions. And there are people now setting up, organizing through the scrap metal and armor, shields, swords, and seeming to make a kind of habit of it. Morgan especially, and Orville a bit, also would know that in times of dire crisis, there are a number of people that take advantage of the situation and suddenly are business people and merchants that you would not expect in strange, uncertain circumstances that suddenly have access to a number of high-quality items that totally belong to them forever. And of course, many of the other houses as well, seeking to recoup any type of financial cost they can, would likely have such items for sale, provided you don't ask how they came by it as a way. But anything at this point is salvage. You probably even go into the town if you want to be... If you want to be like Charles, you could also technically attempt that too and see what you find. But that's up to you guys. Depends on how you want to play your characters and go for that. You do have a lot of options when it comes to finding material goods, especially mundane things. While plate armor is expensive, it is also something that many of the fellow weavers chosen in town would go for if they were of the fighting variety or certain other classes. Martial, I guess, is the right way to say it.
So, Jones, how do you want to go about that?
Does anyone want to finance a poor kobold who got eaten yesterday?
Yeah, it's no big deal. How much you gonna need, bud?
I guess it depends on how much the dollar goes for now. Whatever it costs, though, I'll pay back. I just don't have anything right now. I'm literally naked.
I can get it.
It's
Your
truly no
magical stuff
problem
didn't break.
whatsoever.
That's true, but I went from having like 30 things and like 150 pounds to 6 things and 50 pounds.
Mm-hmm. But if you don't want endless booze, we could resell that if we can and just trade it for a suit of armor. I'm sure someone would trade endless booze for armor. The question is, would you trade endless booze for armor?
JJ's just gonna kind of wander on over to the folks kind of separating out armor and start talking to them about things that might fit a young kobold.
Young kobold on the go.
Young kobold on the go. Some nice full plate for him.
Sure. So you walk up to the people at the ladies' area.
Yes.
They are kind of digging through scrap metal, shields, various types of weapons and armor that have been salvaged from the square. You do note a number of people do seem to kind of come and go with arms full of like salvage and scrap and kind of just add it to the piles and seem to be trading coin back and forth, or at this point paper notes of IOU, kind of like agreeing on intermittent values at a time to kind of like be paid back later, a later date. As you approach, you see a rather somber looking individual who kind of turns. This human seems to have bags under their eyes, about half the level of depth and intensity of Bartholomew. So they're only slightly tired, but they turn and look at you, and as you're like, "Hey, friends," looks at you and goes, "I know you. You're the lightning gal, ain't you? Seeker."
Yeah. Yes, sir.
It's an honor and a pleasure. What can I do for you, ma'am?
Our friend there, Kobold Jones, unfortunately, one of those big guys kind of gnawed on him. He needs some new armor and I think a new shield. So, if you've got like something full plate that might be able to fit him, just let me know your price. and we'll get it rolling for you.
Mm.
It's no big deal.
Hey,
Get out of your hair quickly.
I don't have anything in full plate for a kobold. I've got chainmail breastplates, some shoulder guards. I can do the shield for him.
I think sometimes he likes to wear like armor for dwarves, like fit for dwarves.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know if I had to tell you this, but there's not a lot of dwarves in the Lady Galante's employ. You might have better chances finding it in Gromiton if they're still open for business. But shields, we've got plenty. And he kind of like shows like a layout, and there's like a bunch of shields that have been kind of like dented and beaten, but a mending spell will probably fix in a jiff. There's metal shields and a few leather ones that are kind of cracked or broken, but any of them can be easily fixed. Just take your pick of the litter.
I do have a shield.
You do have a shield, okay? You're fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh shoot. Maybe he doesn't need a shield.
Alright.
It's the armor that he needs for sure. He's
Uh,
kind of running around naked.
I can give him pants. The
You
kids'
know, maybe
pants,
just at least. Yeah, you know, I mean, they'll fit him. Just tell him they're like big boy pants.
though. He turns and looks, and he like walks up, and like you see a woman kind of like going through and like washing clothes and hanging them up on a line. He walks over to a grouping of like short things. He goes, I got ones with dragons on them. I've got ones with
know
stars on them.
Okay.
You know, what's his like?
I think the dragons would be kind of cool, to be honest.
He goes and he pulls down a pair of kids like long trousers, but they're like pajama bottoms for kids, with like kind of like a hewn belt, and there's a gold and silver dragon on either side, and they swirl down each leg. He kind of goes, "Here you go."
You know what? Thank you so much. How much will that be?
You're good.
Oh, that's not how I operate.
Okay. It is 50 gold.
50 gold.
50
okay.
gold pieces that you've already prepaid on credit.
That I've on credit. Okay. All right. I'm gonna give you 5 more silver.
No,
I hope you have
sorry,
a-
I won't take silver out. I can't change.
Okay. I don't need change.
Sorry.
I'm just gonna give it to you.
Well, it's already paid for. Actually, your purple friend paid for it.
His money got eaten by the big boy.
No, he paid for it. And he points over, and you see this like half orcan individual who's sitting. He goes, "That's my husband, Jeff. He was gonna die last night, and that
Oh, my
man
Lord.
and his little boy servant saved his life.
Servant. Oh, that's lovely.
Pants are yours.
Oh man.
And if you need anything
oh.
else, it's yours.
Oh shoot. Okay. All right.
Does he need shoes?
I don't think he likes their shoes.
A shirt? I'll give him the one off my back if you need it.
You know, I think we're good. I really appreciate it. I'm sure he will love these dragon trousers.
All right.
I appreciate it and everything that y'all are doing.
If we come across any dwarven plate mail for him, I'll save it for you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll just say it fell off the back of the truck.
Sounds like a great option.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our job.
You're doing a
You
great
take care-
job.
You take care of yourself now. And
You
take
too.
care of your husband too.
I will.
Alright. Y'all make it. And she'll just waddle on back really awkwardly with these little dragon pants.
He comes back with pants. Goes for plate armor, comes back with pants.
Well, here's some pants for you. So you can not be naked. They don't have a lot
Holy
of...
shit!
lot of
These are awesome! I'm gonna put them on 2 legs at a time.
You put them on and jump into them. You're trained in athletics, you do it. Bartholomew just stares and goes, "That is amazing."
I just imagine with like my massive quads, I'm just like it looks like leather pants. I'm just like busting out of these pants.
Oh yeah. They're tight. They're tight. But it makes the dragons look bigger too, so.
That's Davy, and that's Steve.
Davy and Steve. Heard.
I don't think there's a
Can you make
dragon
him
named
dance?
Mr. Jones.
How would you know? I'm more dragon than you.
You know what? You've got me there. So, Davy and Steve it is. You're right.
Jonesy, you think if you flex hard enough, you can make them dragons dance?
Yeah, I also might make my dick pop out.
Oh my god. I don't think that's what he meant by making a dragon dance, Mr. Jones. You know what? Maybe he did mean that. Although, whatever he meant. Anything else you guys want to try to look for or get here before you set out? You do know the just base history or knowledge of coming into town. There were similar situations at the gates where most of the guards were, and you know that many of the guards in the city wear chainmail, but some of the people of the clergymen do wear plate in some situations. Some of the paladins of the Ferosa do wear plate.
Are we walking up to Grim Village? That's right?
I think we're riding on the beetle, but we keep an eye out and see if there's any plate mail.
As we're walking out, we can just find stuff. Sorry.
Well, if we could take a little walk over before, I kind of wanted to see if Miss Gaza survived this. Put a heavy investment in her.
Yes. Yes, we need to go check on that. For what it's worth, they did say Grandma would probably have something more up Jones's alley. But, yeah, we should definitely go check with Miss Garza.
You all approach, head off to Garza's workshop. You look, the door's been blown open. There are a number of small mechanical units that are walking around trying to kind of fix, repair, and hammer back into place the various walls that make up the workshop. You do walk in and you see sat in the very middle of the workshop, Garza, kind of sitting there with a lot of bandaging kind of overhand, and is now kind of as you walk in, affixing two kind of what looks like claws to the palm of their hand. They now have 3 fingers kind of steady on it. They're trying to affix an additional appendage at this point. And as you kind of walk in, they look you over and go, I don't want any... I know you. Elf.
That's right. Yeah, glad to see you made it too.
Mm-hmm. Now what do you need?
We were about to head out. I just wanted to... see if you were fine, know if all of this happening was going to affect our arrangement. It's going to be much harder to find resources likely.
It's going to be more difficult. Might affect your pricing at the end of it, but you're also one of the few paying customers that I'm still going to have. So I'm going to make sure it gets done.
Alright, I appreciate that.
Of course.
Do you need help with that arm?
It's not even an arm. It's like a leather strap across the palm, and a leather strap over the the missing part of their hand, and it's two, legitimately like a claw, like a reach-em claw kind of deal, where if they move their wrist, it closes and opens, and that's about what they're literally just doing it so they have any type of full functionality back in grabbing things.
Alright, well, I guess we'll keep going.
I'm actually going to pay a little bit off of my cost, if you don't mind, just to help you with your repairs and moving forward.
Awfully kind of you.
And I'll give her 100 plat.
Oh, okay. The page walks by and goes, 100 platinum. And like takes it and slowly counts it and goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And Garza kind of looks at you and goes, I'll make sure it gets marked down right when they're done counting it.
Thank you.
Thank you. And, a couple of folks have said this morning that we'd all be dead if not for you all. Don't know how much know how much truth there is in it, but I can see it. So, you have my thanks.
We did what had to be done. We did what was right.
Well, see that you keep up the good work.
That's the plan.
Yeah. 29, 30, 31, 32. Anything else at Garza's?
Nah, good.
Alright. Where to next, y'all?
I guess let's get out of here.
Did you want to do any searching for any plate?
I guess just kind of try to keep an eye out. But hey, Morgan, can you keep an eye out? You got like the elf eyes, right?
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out.
All right. I think we do that, and then if we don't find anything, which I'm not counting on us finding anything, maybe we can get something in Grim Village. The market probably won't be shit there.
I wouldn't put money on that. They're not exactly a
I don't know if they're
A metal sort of folk.
It's a bit more rural. The market options were a bit difficult last time we were there, but maybe things have changed.
Yeah. I'll help you, Morgan. Look out for something. There should be something on the way out. I imagine it's a bit of a walk. Or I myself can go into Gramerton. And see if there's anything that way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess technically this armor's functional, and I can keep using it if I need to. Just kind of sucks.
Okay.
But it's not useless. So, I don't want to put us in danger for a little extra oomph.
I mean, it shouldn't put us in danger to go to Gramerton or anything. I can go. So it's not a big deal if y'all just want to wait here. I don't want to make Morgan go or anything. So yeah.
I could give you the money if you want to see if they have anything for sale.
No. I can definitely get it for Jonesy. It's not a big deal. It's just want to make sure before I make this detour.
And she travel completely alone? Like that was something the lady mentioned.
Oh, no. Yeah, I don't have to travel completely alone. It's just I don't, want to force anyone to be somewhere they don't want to be.
I actually, if you're going to go to Gramerton, I wouldn't mind checking on my barber.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea too. So yeah, we can definitely do that, So maybe we do a stop at each, and maybe I go in with a buddy to Gramerton while y'all wait outside that district, and then we can whichever's closest, either hit Destra or Gramerton first, and we can go check on Belle's barber and see how things are looking and shaping in other spots.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Morgan, can't you like put on a mustache or something?
I don't want to make her uncomfortable. Is the thing. She
Honestly,
might not be comfortable.
I don't know if anyone there is actually would know anything.
They wouldn't, but
They wouldn't, but it's just for the comfort of Morgan, you know.
after what happened to the house, because of everything, I don't think I'm comfortable enough to go in there. But like I said, I would insist on paying for it.
The other option is to look where people are salvaging and try to buy from not a member of the Grama house.
Why don't we try that first for a little bit, and then if we have to, then maybe we can go into the Gromison house. Can't you just send your barber a letter or something like that?
It's only if we were going to go over there that I was going to check. I'll check later if we're not making the time for it. It's
Happy to make the time for that. I mean,
I think your hair looks fine, and I think that
oh, thank you.
Steady Hands Orville, I saw him pretty good with a razor the other day, so he could shape that undercover.
He does not know how to use magical dyes to put more stars in my hair. I mean, yeah, we'll probably do a good job.
Once I've had a couple drinks in me, I got steady hands too. Don't you think so, Orville, after last night?
Yep. Steady as that fella's neck.
Hmm.
Very
Strangled
steady.
someone last night?
You commit murder?
No,
Well, buddy, we did quite the opposite.
I committed unmurder.
Oh, who'd we lose?
I'm gonna ask Morgan for a second. She'll be right back. Good
Oh,
old
buddy,
Discord.
buddy, we committed quite the opposite, actually. We saved a few people, including that wonderful husband.
Yeah, for some reason, for once in my life, I committed unmurder.
Well then, I'm
5
very
times.
proud of you, best friend.
Thank you.
Yes.
And it got me these sick pants.
The pants are super nice. Big bulging dragons on either side.
And also
So
in the middle.
where to for y'all? You want to go into the Grommelton area, or do you want to head for the front gates? You want to just look around town in this area? You do know the courtyard is mostly intact for Galante's area, and there's likely to be a number of scavengers and salvagers that are more focused on making sure their family eats rather than be morally good.
I think scavengers was the first stop.
Look for it. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, easy to do. You all leave the front of the estate. The lady kind of waves you off and wishes you well and tells you to make good choices. Before your departure, she will tell you that I assume you let her know that you're like heading off on like you're going to leave the city, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you let her know that. She'll tell you as well that while you're out in the field, that you try your hardest and you uphold the good honor of both your names and my own, and know that anything you send back here will be put to good use. A lot of changes are coming for Deerwood, and I hope that we can come together in a sense and steer the course of history towards the right path. I'll pray for you, my chosen. And she'll wish you well. You all head off into the fountained kind of open area district where you once fought a large giant, a moon, a fireball, all kinds of nonsense. Various creatures. Many of the shops are broken, beaten, destroyed, but the main buildings, like the more steady, sturdy stuff, is all still very well together. In doing so, it doesn't take long to see a number of, I shouldn't say unsavory types, but hungry-looking folk that have bindles kind of sat behind them, families grouped together, people talking about how they're going to make it, people of like more mundane professions like assistants to chefs or restaurateurs, things of that sort, who have braved through. And you can even see it here that while there are a number of people trying to keep the peace and like protecting some of the more intact buildings, there's not enough guard presence and individuals willing to be effectively good, like kind of law enforcement in the area, that the broken buildings are kind of just being looted and dug through by the more adventurous sort, and people are risking their lives climbing over things to pull out anything from the wreckage or people around. Bodies are being set towards the middle of the fountain and kind of slowly carted away back to the estate, where then they get organized and kind of cleaned up. But for the most part, it does seem to be mostly together. Looking over the area, you guys do note a number of people that seem a bit shadier in their practice, but are offering salvage and things they've come across in finding, if that is what you are after. Are you having a look around in general, or just specifically looking for plate mail? That's my next question.
The only thing I need is plate mail.
Okay. You look around the area. Most of the people do seem to be selling like small things, different types of mercantile goods, like bolts of silk and things that they can't eat, that are just like trade goods for the most part, things they know that have intrinsic value to professions, but what have you. You eventually come across, as you're kind of like voicing like, hey, do you know anyone who has armor, this, that, and the other? A number of people point you in the direction of an individual who looks somewhat familiar, a small halfling man with a kind of black bandana over his brow, covered in like various wounds, but still armed and armored, and kind of like looks you all up and down. And many people point out and say that this man is likely the best to have any type of armor that's been salvaged at this point. Approaching, I assume? Yeah. Walking up to them, they kind of look you up and down and go, hey, I think I know you. You're those weirdos that went inside the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's us.
I've seen you before. Lady really likes you guys. Nice people.
Yeah, we try.
Yeah,
hey, I'm looking for some plate mail.
Oh.
That's my size.
Dwarf size?
Anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Depends if you're buying with coin or buying with credit.
Well, how much would it be for coin?
For coin, considering your station, considering how well of a person you are, for what I got, say, he like looks you up and down. Go ahead and give me an intimidation check. Just your raw presence of this person trying to get a read on you as they roll insight, and you giving that like don't screw me over kind of thing.
Can I add my combat dice to this?
Is that one of your features for
Yes.
Battlemaster? Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
If you want to spend it, go for it.
With my +0 to intimidation,
Heyo.
that's a 9.
Heyo. They look you up and down and go, you are a tough guy. I saw you got eaten and chewed up by that thing. Sorry about that. What I got's some real primo stuff. So, we'll call it, give you the friend discount, we'll say. 1,400 gold pieces.
Can I see it?
Well, I mean, you can see it if I can see the money that you got it, but I don't want to like go card it out and then you don't have the money. You know, I have the leverage of you not knowing where I've stored it, which I think puts the ball in my court a little bit here. Not that you're not hero types, it's just you can't trust nobody today. You know what I mean?
Can't trust the people who are the reason you're alive right now?
I mean, I'm trusting you enough to do business with you. But, you know, I've seen clergymen today beat people over the head for a loaf of bread. You know, I'm just not taking any chances. A little bit of trust goes both ways, don't you think? I'm giving you a deal.
We can trust you.
Oh,
That's
come
the
on.
problem.
Hey, I stood shoulder to shoulder. Well, shoulder to your hip with you when we, I was right there in the mix. All my friends died,
I know.
I was there. You trust me well enough to guard your flank when it counted. When the chips were down, I was your guy.
Helped you out of that tight spot.
Sure did. But I have to say, as far as tight spots go, it was a very, shall we say, informative type of spot that I think has pressed a coal into a diamond this day. And I'm not charging diamond prices. I'm charging less than retail for something a little bit nicer than what you're walking around in there, friend. You look like you're about to pack up and leave. You don't need that gold with you. It's going to slow you down.
How much is plate mail normally?
Normally 1,500 gold pieces. I'm giving you 100 gold off the top, buddy. Those are friend prices. And what I've got? Primo. Couldn't buy it on store shelves if you asked.
Is that actual? I have insight, or I have.
No, yeah, like literally 1,500 gold pieces is going right for plate.
Okay.
He's charging 100 gold less than normal plate. He's just a sketchy guy.
Okay, I'll kind of look at Morgan and be like, if it's legit, it's a pretty good deal.
I'll just kind of flash my bag. Not anything like, yeah, just like a little bit of jingle.
You do the old jingle jangle, and you see this like halfling's ears perk up a little bit. And goes, okay. So you're heroes and you're not poor. I like this. No starving artists here. We got ourselves a deal. You throw me the 1,400. I tell you where your plate mail is. You go and retrieve it, real hush hush like. It's yours. Anyone asks, it's been yours the whole time. I go tell everyone that that's your armor. If anyone asks, you know what I mean?
1,400 gold's a lot of money in this time.
It certainly
Make
is.
sure that you're not trying to fuck us over.
If would I fuck you over, realistically? Yes. I mean, that is probably fair, but I won't do it in this instance because I owe you my life and whatnot.
I do think we should see it.
All right.
Before
you should take us to it. To be honest.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check, whoever wants to. Who is it? JJ, Morgan? Which one do you want to roll it?
I got it.
You got it? Morgan, what'd you get?
A 20.
20. He thinks it over. Goes, want to see it. What if, alright. You can see it. But, But I want 200 of the gold up front. Call it a down payment of intention. In the event you guys try to, fleece me.
I mean, I'm good with that, but if we are going to do that, then you have to stand next to Morgan.
Stand next to the girl with all the money? The big tall broad? Good old easy eyes over here? Yeah, done. Deal. Easy. Don't tempt me with a good time, bud.
Alright, Morgan. You know what to do. If he's fucking us over, I'll call out to you if it's good or not.
Sounds good.
Right,
I'll pull out the money and then just keep a dagger in my hand, but still sheathed.
All right. You kind of do the old rest your hand on the pommel.
Yeah.
He very carefully counts it out, and you note the way that he counts is very similar to most rogues and thieves. And kind of counts it real quick and goes, all right, looks good to me. Gentlemen, right this way if you don't mind. Ma'am, if you would be my escort, if you'd be so kind, I'd appreciate it.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. Let's have ourselves a go. And, you all walk about 3 streets over and then take a left down a small alley and then take a right down that same alley. And you look all the way in the back of this crumbled looking alley. There are a number of large pieces of sheet metal that have been partially buried and look like it's a huge disaster area. And he points out to it. He goes, "You move that top panel. It's not as secure as it really looks. I did a pretty good job here. Underneath that panel, there's your armor. The helmet probably not going to fit you just because of the whole snout thing, but I think you could probably squeeze into it, boss."
All right, I appreciate it. And I'll walk my way over there.
Sure. You walk over, there's a big piece of sheet metal, you slide it off, and it does, to his word, like kind of slide. It doesn't really like seem stuck in any way. You look down, and there is a very heavy blood stain where a body used to be, and a pile of armor, full plate armor, that looks like heavy looking, kind of like black onyx in make. Jose, you like what you see there, Chief?
Can I inspect it and just make sure that everything looks okay with it?
Sure. Go ahead and give me a investigation check.
Alright, I'm gonna use another die on that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dirty 20.
With a dirty 20, you look it over, and as you're looking it over, there's no dents, no scratches. It is immaculate. It actually looks clean. As you're looking over the helmet itself, the body of the plate mail feels heavier than it should be. There's something not quite right to it.
Could I do a history check to the types of people who would wear this sort of armor?
Sure. You could roll history, or yeah, but from this distance you could roll history.
Ooh. Oh no, it's higher now. 23.
23. Looking it over, this type of onyx fashioned armor does appear to be armor that would be fitting of certain types of runic fighters from the north. Dwarven individuals that are possessed of rune crafting. And the onyx itself seems to be ideally set in certain ways that runes can be drawn upon it a lot easier than normal armor. You could set different runes into it.
Alright, yeah, I guess I'll lift it up out and
Okay, you
carry it out.
pick up
And
all
I'll
the pieces
just-
of it. He goes, oh, whoa, 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 hey, hey, hey. He turns and looks at Morgan. He goes, I believe I am owed but 1,200 other gold pieces? Ma'am?
Yeah,
Hey.
looks good, Morgan.
Alright, I'll pay him while protecting my bag of coins as well.
He seems professional in this nature and counts out. You guys settle the money. He looks over, and as you finish counting, he goes, it has been an absolute pleasure working with you fine folk. Heroes of the city, I will sing your praises as long as they so meet, O seekers of Gulani. Of course, if you have any further purchases you'd like to make or anything you're looking for, just let me know. I'm happy to help you in any way, shape, or form. My comrades in arms, as it is.
Alright, thanks.
Hey, thanks you, man. He looks around to the rest of the group. He goes, are we good? We kosher? Copacetic? Everyone good?
Think we're good.
All right. Nobody needs nothing? Anything, playing cards? Maybe some alcohol, something like that? Anything I can do for you?
I think we're
I
good.
think I'm good.
All right. Well, hey,
Thank you, friend.
hey, thank you, friend. I appreciate you. Well, have yourselves a good one. If you're looking for anything, look for me. I'll be here for you. And starts turning and leaving out of the
Hey.
gathering. Oh, yeah, so what?
If we need to find you, what do you go by?
Oh, look at you being all proper and such, asking for names. If the mood should strike such heroic types as yourself, I feel like I'm gonna open up a little bit of an enterprising business here in the next coming weeks. You can call me Maurice.
Thanks, Maurice.
Hey, don't mention it, ears. Turns and starts walking out. Peeks his head back over. I mean it. Don't mention it to nobody. And then goes away.
Crazy old Maurice.
Gotta find Maurice. Get you whatever you need.
Alright, I'm gonna start trying to put on my armor and try to
Yeah.
recruit Celeste to help me out.
You do have 20 strength now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You do meet the requirements for it. You put it on. This is Rune Bearer Dwarven armor. It is specifically Dwarven plate. It gives a bonus to anyone who can draw runes on it. It gives a bonus to those runes. You're not a rune fighter, unfortunately, but if you can find someone who can draw runes, you might have a benefit with that. It is heavy. You need 18 strength to wear it, but no big deal. And while wearing this armor, you would gain a +2 bonus to your AC. And in addition, if an effect moves you against your will along the ground, you can use your reaction to reduce the distance you're moved by up to 10 feet. It functions similarly to Dwarven Plate. Granted, you are a Kobold and Dwarven Plate. Whatever societal faux pas that might be, you have been warned.
No societal faux pas on this end.
No worries there.
I'm a dwarf in kobold skin.
Yeah. My beard's on the inside with these little tentacles.
You skinned so many kobolds.
Anything else you all want to do before heading out? No?
Did you want to stop by, Belle? Just to, I know that sometimes the relationship with your hairdresser is, like a personal one. So,
Timothy has been just such a wonderful help in kind of reordering. Yeah, I have to go check on him.
yeah, just at least check. So let's go do that real quick because we might be gone for a while,
Yeah.
So you guys gonna make your way to Gromaton? Look at the barbershop?
Mhm.
All right. Easy to do. You all start making your way there. I need somebody to roll me a d12. Whoever would like to.
Got it. 11.
11. You continue along the path, climbing over certain parts of the street that have been collapsed, broken, pieces of building you have to walk around. It does take the better part of about 2.5 hours of travel by foot, just because of the difficult terrain of the area. You come into view of the strip where the barbershop used to be, and there are just caved-in roofs along this path here. It looks as if a boulder kind of like rolled through this area, and there's just bits of broken glass and rubble where the shop previously was.
I'll just give it a quick once over, see if there's any signs. Maybe he was somewhere else.
It'd be difficult to determine that just because of how much, like, even the streets are covered in like bloodstains and wildflowers where these creatures were slain.
Okay.
Without like thoroughly asking around or investigating, that'd be a hard one. There are other ways you could determine if someone's alive, but that's up to you if you want to go about those things. He said with much hinting.
Was JJ with Vel when she went to go get her hair done that one day?
You picked her up.
Yeah. Can JJ attempt to do a sending to her hairdresser?
Sure, go right ahead. What do you want to say?
Timothy Sandras.
What's his name again?
Timothy Sandras.
All right. Dear Timothy, I hope this message finds you at least alive. Miss Belithil Downbay wanted to check on you and make sure you were still breathing. You can reply. Thank you.
You get to "you can," and then it cuts off. There's a small delay, and you hear the, "Oh, darling, tell her I send my love. Currently I'm shacked up with a bit of a throuple, but I will be reopening soon, darlings. Keep an eye out for me. Kisses."
JJ will just look to Vel with a smile. He says he's shacked up with a thruple, but he'll be back. He'll be back open, probably by the time that we're back in town.
See, that's the type of person who knows how to deal with trying times.
He truly seemed quite jolly, honestly, despite, all that's going on, so.
Bartholomew leans in and goes, "Excuse me, what is a throuple?"
Oh.
Well, Bartholomew, when one person loves another person and another person, things get a lot more interesting.
You can stop right there. It's never going to happen. Don't need to know what the word means anymore. Thank you. Walks away.
It's fun.
What? Sure.
Alright. Okay, we're ready to leave now.
Heading out. Alright, you guys make way through the city. It takes a couple of hours to head for the northern gate, but before long, you do arrive. You see at this point, there are actually like stalls and long lines of folks that are kind of looking for any type of disaster relief that can be provided. There are large tents set up along the entrance. A number of fresh mercantile carts from the north that were already presently heading their way are all kind of set up and doing anything they can. Many of them, more so than others, do seem to, from what you hear from barking out, a few elevated rates from like basic food and water, but doing effectively, it's a seller's market to these people, many of whom still have what coin they're able to find or scavenge, and no use for it in a general market, so big prices aren't as scary as usual. The local presence of the Northern Guard, which are primarily members of the Feroce's church, are doing their best to provide at least food and water to folks, but are more or less expressing that there's only a limited number of slots in the tents for actual resting places, and they're kind of advising people to head for the church or head for various house districts and things of that sort. You hear people barking out. You hear people barking out. Speaking of like various areas within the Destra domain and Grammaton to make way towards those areas and seek shelter. They also talk about the Lady Galanti has set up a shelter in her establishment and is kind of open and free for many of them. You do overhear that Destra is charging 3 copper coins a night for shelter. And you hear that Grammaton is offering shelter in exchange for work. So they're offering jobs, effectively. You see a number of like some of the more smithing types saying, "You can swing a hammer, if you can wield a shovel, we've got work for you. You and your family are more than welcome to stay within the Grammaton district, but we're going to put you to work for it. Everyone's got to do this together. All hands make the job go easier." And they start like shouting out. And the representative from the Lady Galanti are like, "All are welcome. We have food, water, and shelter of plenty. The lady doth provide." And, like, just trying to like effectively be honeyed. And you kind of get the feeling that of the 3 houses, very much so, Lady Galanti can afford to be generous in this as compared to the other houses, which is seeming to buy goodwill among the people. But you do reach the far northern gates. Anything you guys want to do before summoning your beetle mount and heading out?
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Travel just in case. Put up mage armor for the road.
Putting up mage armor for the road. Seems good. Any other things to do before rolling out? Good, good. All right. The large carrion beetle is summoned once again. Massive. A number of people scream. The horses nearby neigh in various states of distress. Frightens many things. Its large mandible clicks and clacks together, but it lowers its head, and everyone climbs on. Charles looks it over and goes,
"Oh, now this is a fine steed. Yes, yes."
and scurries on to the beetle. You guys head north, right? Do you want to... You will pass through the northern gate, and you do see the road leading to the Lightning Farms. Is there anything you want to do there before you roll out, or any last bits before you commit to the road northward towards Grim Village throughout Hunter's Reach? Speak now, or forever hold your pieces.
Just 1 second. Celeste seems to be having mic problems, and she might just typing maybe if she wanted to do something or not.
Oh, okay. I see her.
Oh wait, no.
No? Uh-oh. I don't know. Thumbs
I mean,
up.
we can go back to Maurice.
Maurice!
Mhm.
No.
No.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hey, there she is.
Hello.
Oh my god, you can hear me? It's like a Christmas miracle.
Oh, jeez.
Only not for Christmas.
If you want to
Uh,
find a
no.
weapon, like we can totally do that.
No, it's okay. I don't want to steal from the dead.
Orville has already done that. I've got what seems to be a magical mace on my person.
I
What?
stole potions from the dead.
Yeah.
Kobold has stolen armor twice from the dead.
That's not. It's just not a thing that Celeste would do, so I don't want to do it.
Do you
Is it
want one of
really-
us to steal
I'll
from the
do
dead
it for you.
No. No.
Morgan's like, I'll kill him and then take it. I don't give a shit.
I'll raise them from the dead so they can hand it to you.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that's an interesting concept, but a hard no.
It's not like they're gonna use it anymore.
No, but that's not the point. Like, I guess technically it's not our house is dead, so does it really count? Like,
That is completely up to your purview.
Oh.
you know, that's I don't know.
I will
don't
say that
really
like
know.
shopping was very like we're not lying when we say like it was limited before in
Grim Village.
Grim Village.
Yeah,
So
I will tell you openly, Grim Village is a hunting village primarily. For what it's known for, it is a village of like hunter-gatherer types that are primarily possessed of farming and surviving off the land.
the
That's
best
kind
thing there is like a leather worker.
There's like a leather worker.
Oh, she made these sweet shoes.
Yep.
She made my awesome cape.
Your bee shoes came not from Grim Village, did they?
Yeah, your bee shoes came from
They did.
somewhere else.
The tiefling
Okay.
woman
Oh,
made
they
those
were.
for you.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
tiefling girl and Orin.
Vel's furry boots
Really?
and cloak came from Grim Village.
Yep.
Hey.
Her winter outfit.
I just want an excuse to show off my leather shoes on cam. Truth be told.
That's fair. No, that's fair. I appreciate that. There aren't bees on them, but I'll take it.
But like we could
Not
also
these
check like what is in one of the estates proper sales still if you really want to look for something.
Yeah, I mean, I just want like it's sword. Oh, you can't hear me now?
You
I can
you're
hear you.
cutting out at the end.
You're
You're
trying to
looking for a
you're
sword?
gonna have-
Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm just looking for like a great sword.
I mean,
Tell me if you got that.
there are
Like
people
how
that
great?
do something
Like
like
on a scale of 1 to 10.
Huh?
that. Oh,
I
great.
think she just wants a two-handed weapon that does not give her disadvantage.
That also is... Yeah. That'd probably be a good thing to invest in if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, but we're not getting rid of the tooth. We're just,
You
you know,
You should yeet it into the nearby trash can.
we're
No one will think
getting
it's a weapon.
no, we're getting it a friend. That's
Ah.
all.
So yeah, I mean you can do that. Here at the gate, there's a number of people that are selling random goods that have been picked off of guards and the like. If you wanted to go to one of the houses that are up for market, you know that the dockside would probably have the most eclectic collection of things that have been salvaged, and Destro would probably have a number of magical things, and Gromatin is the most likely to have a big weapon. Alternatively, you do know a scavenger in town now who is fairly good at what they do. Not to call them a thief, but they do have class levels in a certain class.
But his name is Maurice the Thief.
His name is Maurice.
Okay. I guess I'll ask Maurice what he has.
All right. Do you want to have JJ cast sending to him, or you just want to go look for him back in the Galanti area?
What are you guys? You guys good to go back?
You go back?
That's
All right. You round the bend, another hour or so. Gets to be about closer to like noon at this point. It takes a little bit of looking for him, since now he's got coin and is making purchases of his own. But you do note the similar halfling features of this kind of this bandanaed individual. You approach, and as you kind of see them turn around, goes, "Oh hey, look at my favorite customers. Hey, how y'all doing?"
Good. Good.
Might I just say, sir, what a dapper set of armor you've always had. So good to see well-dressed kobolds in the city.
I'll kind of do one of those like new boot goofing type things.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness! Look at the moves. The moves he's got. Love it.
Thanks.
You're welcome, sir. So, what can Maurice the Moocher do for you?
Hello? Did you add to your name?
I mean, you know, I just
All right.
get a
No, you're
little
trying out
nickname
new
walking.
thing.
Trying
Yeah.
it out.
No, yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah,
are
yeah.
like seekers of Gulani. I feel like I need like a me of this kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Especially if I go into business for myself later on, you gotta have something you could market, copyright, you know, protect your brand image.
Yeah.
So, what y'all in the market for?
I was actually hoping that maybe you could help me find like a great sword or like
Oh,
you know.
that gray sword you lost? Yeah,
Yeah.
I had seen it when you threw it, heroically saving all of us from certain death. I believe I remember you flinging it heroically at an individual. Yeah, no, I saw what that was. You know, it's the darndest thing though, and like a few people like pass by and like it kind of like is just you guys. Just my memory ain't what it used to be. You know what I mean? I got one of them old tickers that only runs on gold coins. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you know, if you wanted me to bring you to your greatsword that is rightfully yours, you'd have to pay a small fee.
How small of a small fee?
It depends on what you're in the market for, you know. I mean, are you talking about the iron greatsword that you lost, or are you talking about the silver greatsword that you lost, or you're talking about that crazy one with all the crazy shit on it? Is that the one you lost? I forget what yours looked like, and I've been helping people all day with the greatswords. You know, I'm lousy with greatswords. You know, so
Vel,
which
do you
one
remember what my greatsword looked like?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
Vel.
You threw like 3 of them around.
Oh,
How much
so
was that fancy one worth? How much was that, Maurice? Do you remember? Didn't we talk about it?
I think we praised it way back when, you know, when we were all hanging out for dinner or whatever we did because we're friends.
Yeah.
You know, I believe, and if I was being honest with you, I would have sold it 3,000 gold pieces. But as friend prices, if I was to be selling that, or perhaps buying it from an individual, I'd say maybe in the neighborhood of, I don't know, maybe 1,700.
Oh, okay.
You know, friend prices, you know?
Yeah,
Big,
for sure.
Big sale for you.
Sounds pretty cool, Celeste.
Sounds pretty
Yeah.
cool. I would hate to have missed it. I would hate
It
to.
does sound like the one that you lost.
Does sound like the one you lost. That's correct.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. So like 200 now, the rest when we get it.
Oh, I mean, for friend prices though, I feel like 300 now. I mean, I trust you, but you know,
Okay.
I
No,
my
that's fine.
friends are well off.
Yeah.
I don't want to like take your last gold or something. You know.
No, I understand.
I sold ticker of mine. It don't work the right way. You know.
Yeah. No, I got you.
But like repeat customers and all that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna like slowly turn around,
Huh?
reach into my bag,
Yeah,
pull out.
you see Maurice leaning over to look at her, like around the corner of her.
Excuse me.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. No, it's cool. It's cool.
Okay, sorry.
Here you go. And I'll hand him.
He counts it and goes, That's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And it just kind of like rolls it out and goes, oh, yeah, goodness, thank you so much for handing me that coin that I lost earlier. Right this way where your greatsword was, where we done throwed it earlier.
Yep.
And he leads you down a different alley, a different corner, and you look over and there's a small like wooden box that looks like it's kind of like beat up and broken. It kind of looks like an old outhouse that's kind of been like shoved into this corner. He goes, you left it in the shitter, wouldn't you know? Why don't you just go in there and maybe reach down and pull out the log, if you know what I'm saying.
I don't know that I know
I think
what you're saying.
You know how to get the log that is stuck, that is yours.
Yes.
Yes, because you left
log.
it there. That one.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
I'll go in there and I'll.
You open up the little outhouse and it's empty.
Yeah.
There's just a little hole where people shit in.
Oh no! Do I have to put my hand in there?
I don't know what you have to do personally. There's like people that are like walking around the street. He goes, she had a real bad case of the Rias, so gonna have to, you know how
walk
it is.
Over next to Celeste. You cast Mage Hand.
You reach down in. You hear the sloshing sound. Mage Hand hits something, slowly, shakily lifts it up out of the muck. And I don't know if a greatsword's heavier than 10 pounds. I don't think it is, though.
I didn't check, but...
We double check. Otherwise, this would be kind of gross. No, 6 pounds. We're good. Like the most majestic of swords plunked from the Lady of the Lake, this beautifully ornate-looking greatsword is pulled free from the plunges of an outhouse. And it's covered in shit. But it does look really nice, and it is very shiny looking.
Just close the door to a crack.
Yeah.
So I can still see it. Prestidigitation with the door closed so it cleans itself.
With the shit cleaned off of it, it does shine, and it radiates a faint magical light. Even cracking it open, you can kind of see it like shimmering. The hilt and pommel of this is actually affixed with the symbols of the weavers themselves. It appears to be a religious weapon, specifically one from likely a member of the Ferosa.
Thanks for helping me find my sword.
Oh yeah, I sure do love helping you all find your swords and whatnot that you done missed and misplaced. I do believe I misplaced a.
Oh yes. Yes.
That loan that I gave you?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah. Here is the rest of that. 14.
He takes it and he counts it out in front of you and stows it in a pocket and kind of like takes 10 pieces of gold and like has different pockets to put them in. He goes, oh, and you hear this like jingling sound from his coat at the end of it and goes, well, nows. It's been an absolute pleasure friends helping friends, as I like to say.
One team, one dream.
One team, one dream. Hey, you gonna use that for anything?
What?
Like,
it's yours.
It's mine?
It's yours.
You're just gonna give it to me like that?
Yep.
Hey, I don't care what other people say about you. You're alright.
Who's been saying what?
I couldn't possibly speak. You know, my brain, it don't work the way it's supposed to, you know what I mean? I just can't quite remember who said what. But, you're alright, kid.
Okay. Well, I'll see you around. Maurice.
I'll see you around. Tall, muscular lady.
Bye.
Hey, see ya. It turns and looks at the rest of the group and goes, did anyone else misplace anything of significance or value that they might be in the market for looking for? At this present time? No?
I think we found everything. Thank you.
Hey, well, you know what? You seekers, Maurice is a finder. Seekers and finders, we're like this. Could be something there, marketing-wise, just saying.
Hey, I think that you should consider Maurice the Merchant. Sounds official.
But no one's ever called me Maurice the Merchant.
Big money, Maurice.
Big Money Maurice. Would you all call me that?
Sure thing, Big Money Maurice.
Big Money Maurice. I like the sound of that. Hey kid, you all right? And he reaches into his pocket and flicks you a copper coin. That's a little something from Big Money Maurice. Let's make sure you say that a lot. I appreciate it. Anyway, I think my work here is done as a little find and seek situation. If you all are looking for anything else, I be more than happy to find it for yous. I'm also available for parties. I do tricks for the kids. He holds up a gold coin and it disappears when he opens his hand. And he shows it in the other hand. He's like, real good around the young ones. You're welcome. He starts walking out with jingles.
Is everybody good now?
Yes.
Bartholomew
Thank you.
goes, I think there's no good right now. I think there's a lot of exploitation right now. No, we're not doing good, but we're doing I think this is called thieving, but that's fine. Desperate times and all that.
Should I give it back?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, of course not.
Everybody prepared to leave, regardless of moral state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right then.
All right, you head on out. You guys head for the front gates. Summon your mount. Get on the beetle. Rush out. Good to go. Any stopping at the lightning farm or moving straight on to the main road? Moving on to the main road. All right, cool.
Good to move.
Yes. So, Celeste, before I forget, the weapon you have is a greatsword of Outsider Bane. So it does additional damage. It is a magical weapon that specifically deals extra damage against outsiders. That can be anyone who is not of this world. It does require attunement, to be honest. To be honest with you.
Does it give a plus to hit at all, or is it just magical to get through armor?
No, I believe it actually does. Let me pull it up right here. Yeah, so a Bane weapon excels at attacking one type or subtype of creature against its designated foe. It has a +2 to hit and damage. It also deals an additional 2d6 points of damage against those foes. Otherwise, it's just a magical greatsword. But it's specifically against outsiders, +2 to hit, +2 damage, +2d6 extra damage. So it swings 4 dice against outsiders. Every beholder quivers in fear. All right. So you all do head out on the road, as you are wont to do. Being that we're past time, we'll start the journey here. We'll discuss in downtime throughout this week. I'll post a few things in chat just about if we're going to do travel for stream, or if you guys want to do that in downtime. That's going to be up to you guys. So I'll leave it in the players' hands. For everyone here, I certainly thank everyone for checking us out, hanging out. Let's see here. I think Pale Dragon is just starting, which they showed up and they were like, "Hey, how you doing?" So let's see here. No, they're 3.5 hours in, so I don't think they're probably getting close to wrapping up. I think last time we raided them. Let's go and we'll raid Rosen. They're a cool artist. Sure, why not? They seem like cool peoples. So, with that, everyone, we certainly do thank you for hanging out with us all night. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, something with the algorithm. I'm not very smart. Oh. As always, everyone, we will keep you posted to things here. There are now some pretty hefty community goals if you want to participate in them, or if you want to avoid them for fear that they might horribly ruin the lives of my players. They could be really nice, though. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe there's hints in this episode, maybe there aren't. You'll never know. Only I will. To Temasu, I will be in touch very soon. Sooner than you might think. But from everyone here with Second Wake, I've been Kareem Zamir. They've been the Seekers of Galanti. You've been our level 20 characters. Peace out.